welcome to the Travelers Podcast. We are here on 2023 of January 28th. First episode of 2023, I suppose. December was kind of a flop, and November because of holiday seasons and people were busy. But obviously, that's the holidays for you. So we were going to try and wait until they came out with some information of what's to come before making a podcast, so it wouldn't be just like filled with boringness. But there's only a little bit of news they gave us, which we'll go over it in a little bit through this episode. But most of this episode is just going to be us catching up and also talking to our co-host slash guest of what they've been up to, and I guess some content name changes and stuff like that. And then also doing a theory like what will come to Tyria. What's happening next? Who might arrive? What direction do you see this game going to? And of course, this is all for fun, and hopefully none of this is true. If it ends up becoming true, then I don't know what to tell you. I guess we're just a mind reader. So yeah, let me go ahead and introduce people here. I want to introduce my co-host, Serine Tempest. And then my guest co-host, Syllabus. So hello, you two.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Now, let's first start off with our holiday break situation and what we've been up to, and have you accomplished anything? What have you been doing, Mom? I should ask you first, which is Serene. And hello, Israel. Thank you for the sub. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, go.
We've been what we've been doing. Been working on our Gen 2 axes. I can't say the name, but I think I'd rather do the Gen 1s. But we're trying it. We'll see how it goes. And just farming stuff.
I mean, what makes you frustrated?
Not trying to find what you're supposed to do and find the right person. I leave it to you to find the right videos that we're supposed to follow, because some of the stuff is confusing as heck, or like you said, not there no more.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm trying not to bump my mic here. I'm so sorry if you guys hear any bumping right now. Okay. What about you? What do you want us to call you? Do you want us to call you Tyrion now, or you want Sylvus still?
Syllabus still, please.
Okay, just want to make sure. I was like holding my breath earlier because I was gonna say Tyrion. I was like, also a crow, and I was like,
yeah, that's something we'll get into a little bit later, but syllabus is perfectly fine still.
Okay.
I believe the proper pronunciation of the Gen 2 actually going for is Australaria. As for on my end, we've just been enjoying the holidays. We got a lot of fun stuff in real life that I get to mess around with here soon. In game, we've just been helping out players as best we can through different functions like dungeons and fractals. I have been playing another game recently, and I found a few friends in there who I helped them out in that game. That was a lot of fun. We did a really long stream, which I'm pretty sure we'll get into a little bit later as well. But other than that, we've just been trying to relax, enjoying the holidays, work, and all that other stuff.
That's good. So I basically did a little bit of holiday stuff, just enough just to get a couple achievements. I don't really care for it, like I normally do, just because maybe I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, seasonal stuff for games, But working on basically the legendaries or getting certain collections done is pretty much what I've been at. So that's, it's been fun.
I did made a good thing I was doing the holiday stuff, because New Year's is a good way to make gold as well, and made enough gold to help us out a little bit on our Gen 2 a little bit. So it's just the same stuff over and over.
Okay, sorry. I had to make sure I marked something down. So I do want to talk about that. They did say in December that they were going to release some news about what was to come sometime in January for the Living World and Worldly World and all that good stuff. Well, obviously, as of Friday, they came out with a newsletter and a tweet that they weren't ready, obviously, for what's to come for Living World stuff right now. I guess that's still on a hold until February, I believe, 3rd. Could be wrong. Could be
I hope
13th.
it's soon.
It's February for sure, but for PvE stuff, that's not going to be until next month. But for World v World stuff, that is going to be soon, and I will let you know our guest here explain everything about what's happening and probably read off some of the update preview here. I do have it on stream for the people who are just listening through audio. If you want to take a look at it, just go to the GuildWars2.com and probably go to their news to read it for yourself or whatever it may be. But he is going to be briefly going over that. I give you full range.
Uh-oh. Time to
Oh,
hide your
we're
wife, hide your child. Go ahead.
yes, we are deeply in trouble. But not World vs. World upgrades. So I used to play a lot of World vs. World. I believe I'm about rank 2000 inside the game itself. I thoroughly enjoyed making it. Ran through light legendaries and the ring inside there, so I played a fair bit of that thing. With what they're gonna be doing with World versus World here soon, it looks like some siege is getting buffed and changed. Objectives are gonna be getting changed to try and make some of the big maps kind of easier to take in a sense. And they're also going to be messing around with the World versus World skirmish claim tickets, which are kind of what locks you with making a legendary piece per month in World versus World. So these changes are going to be absolutely amazing when those come through, especially for
Right.
people who are working on some of their items now. I don't know if you want to go into numbers right now or like some strats I may see change.
I mean,
First,
probably. I
yeah, and
mean,
also, what do you think? Because I haven't got a chance to do the alliance, where they were going to the alliance thing. Did you try that? Did it work?
like the
How did that
beta stuff.
go?
I've only done one of the Alliance beta weekends. I'm mostly just waiting for like the full launch of it to make sure everything's squared, said and done. But from what I've heard, the first weekend they did was really bad because servers weren't populating properly. But in what I've seen since, I haven't really seen too many problems. So hopefully that's getting better. It's just trying to figure out where they need to set the populations at, which guilds they need to lock into the alliances and stuff like that to put them into the proper worlds and go from there. If you want to go into the numbers, which we can go straight down that list, you're right there. The weekly achievements that they're going to be adding into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, it looks like they're going to be adding in what is it, 8 weekly achievements?
Yeah.
So it's
No,
weekly. So it's
7.
not going to be something easy like kill 5 guards or whatever, like the dailies. It's going to be a pretty good haul to get the
So it looks like
right?
they're adding 7 achievements with 6 only needed to hit the pure reward cap, and they're gonna be weekly. So I don't know if they'll be adding to AP, but they will be giving you rewards. And this is where those extra skirmish claims tickets come from, is those weekly achievements. Something tells me it's not gonna be as easy as kill 5 guards, but it may be like take stone mist castle twice,
Yeah, it would
take a
have to be
keep
something
10,
decent
20
to get you to
times, something
do
like that.
Worldly World and not just sit there and go take a camp or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
like, or keep a camp for like one session or whatever.
That one might be a little bit hard to do. I could see escorting an X amount of doyaks, and taking certain things, maybe killing a specific amount of players and stuff like that could add into it. But the 35 extra skirmish tickets is going to be a godsend. I think to make one piece of legendary armor, you need about somewhere in the range like 700 to 1,000, and right now the cap is 350, 360, somewhere in that area. So 2 weeks of just playing nothing but World versus World, getting to Diamond 6, which depending on your rank can be a good night of playing or 3 or 4 days worth of playing, depending on how much time you can put into the game and such like that.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to explain the siege stuff? Because that kind of is probably
Yeah.
important for people who like to play with that stuff.
So yeah, so moving on to Siege. So they're going to be changing the flame ram and ballista's more durable, which is kind of cool. Especially when you got like 50 people on one side and 50 people on another side. That those siege weaponry in like specifically the flame ram, those go quick. So adding a bit more HP to them is really good. Another thing they're doing is to make the Warclaw more viable is they're doubling the damage that the Warclaw can do with the chain pull. So it doesn't sound like they're doing any other change with the chain pull. They're just increasing the damage by multiplying it. That's perfectly fine by me. I think 3 or 5 Warclaws can be on one door at a time pulling. It takes one siege to do roughly the damage of a flame ram last time I played. So we'll see how that affects taking like paper keeps and stuff like that.
That sounds
If you
kind
guys
of
don't know
fun.
what if you guys don't know what paper keeps and all that means, is a T1 keep or anything like that is made out of wood. That is paper because it's easiest to take down. Tier 2 is made out of stone. Tier 3 is made out of
Okay.
metal. So if you
Okay.
hear paper, it is a T1 keep. Then you'll hear like T2 or Tier 3 for the other two.
Some movie
Um,
world lingo for you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but definitely that the chain pull is really going to make the Warclaw more viable. You'll probably see a bit more people on it. But the increase to the
I still,
HP
this
is
is
really good.
off topic some. They need to make a Doliac skin for the Warclaw. So then I can feel like an awesome badass ramming
That's
things.
true. And then it goes with your theme. You know, you can name it.
That would be funny to see people just running it on these gigantic Doliacs for a
Yeah.
minute.
That'd be funny. Then she'd really actually have it. She could do videos with her standing by her yak.
But going on top of
I
that,
need a
it looks like,
Tampa Doliac. Go ahead,
but
sorry.
to go back, it looks like they're also gonna be changing a bug that's been with the game for a very long time. While being on a flame ram, certain crowd control skills could kick you off very easily, even if you did have the stability from one of the skills. They're going to be fixing that, which is going to be a godsend.
Okay.
And I know there was one strat people would do if they knew a big push was coming with Doya with flame rams. I'm sorry. So say you had like 3 flame rams on one side of the door. You had the door. Some people would throw another flame ram on their side of the door and use the fear skill, which would push all the people off the three rams away, even though they had stability. So it sounds like they're gonna be changing that up to where that strat will no longer be viable.
Okay.
So that's
I
So,
didn't know about that. I've never seen that.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't see it very often. If
yeah, I was gonna
anybody
say.
does it, it only buys like a minute, like not even a minute worth of time to try and keep people from getting into like the inner ring of say Stone Mist Castle. Yeah, but it's not something people do very often, but apparently it's often enough that they do want to change it.
Well,
Hmm.
so then I guess let's go to objectives then. So what's the objective part changing, or I guess what's their plans for that?
So moving on to the objectives. Let's see here. So it looks like they're going.
Get
Yeah.
busy. Get busy.
I,
Go.
I'm trying to read while keeping up with this, just so I have everything fresh in my mind as I'm looking. Base maximum supply for keeps in Summer's Castle, as well supply limit increase upgrades are being reduced. So when you're taking Summer's Castle, a lot of the problem with trying to take that area can be uh like a group is held for so long because it was overnight, so not a lot of
Mhm.
players trying to take the keep. It's metal, it's the hardest one to keep.
And it's all
You got
puffed up and
it,
everything.
it's all puffed up. You got 30 players, the opponents have 50. There's no chance you're going to take it, so you just have to wait it out until more of your server becomes active again. With this change here, so
That's
Stormist Castle,
interesting.
I believe in tier 3 is 5,000 supply.
I think you're right. Mm,
It's somewhere in that range, I
yeah.
want to say. Um, so say we're the 50 that are defending. The 30 try to make a push. They break like 3 of our walls, and then we push them out because they can't get into the inner because we're just 50. So 50-30, yeah. We can take that 5,000 supply and build up every single wall they broke as quickly as possible because it doesn't take too many people to build a wall back at the full HP. Is to keep people from spamming heals on walls. So it's to make, if someone wants to break a wall, it's to make that more to keep that keep more vulnerable for a longer time to help change it out in case, or to help change out points.
Right. Right.
Which is perfectly fine by me. But it also, to compensate for the change in the supply, it looks like they're going to be increasing Dolyak's HP, and they're going to increase the amount of supply that keeps get. So like instead of getting 20 supply from each Dolyak that came in, they'll now get like 30 supply from each Dolyak that comes in.
That's good.
So you'll get more when you get the on the initial side, but you're gonna have a smaller cap. Is how they're gonna be balancing that.
All right.
Oh, I have a suggestion
Oh,
for
a suggestion or what?
Yeah, suggestion. He does videos to teach people things or help people with things. I would like to see somebody put etiquette video for World versus World. Like I never knew when we first started playing World versus World came out that like when you take a keep, you're not supposed to take the supplies from there. You're supposed to go to a camp until it builds up. Stuff like that.
Oh yeah. See, most of my experience with dealing with World versus World is I used to do a lot of like big Zerg rushes, and that was a lot of fun. Most of my time lately has been solo camp flipping, so I don't know if I'd have the most up-to-date etiquette.
We should find out and make, because I'm serious. And some of those people get nasty too. So
All I know is I have my own etiquette when it comes to World versus World. So if I'm doing my solo camp flipping, and I see someone from another camp, if I see someone from another team, so say I'm on green, I see a guy from blue, and we're both going for red camp. If he's already fighting it, I'll bow and I'll run away. I will leave that camp for him because he's doing the same thing I am, just trying to flip a camp, get his pips for the hour, and leave.
See, and I didn't know nothing about bowing and running away.
No, for me, I just bow, say, hey, I see you, kind of, and I just move on. I go to the next camp.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I kind of figured it out after a while, but people go in there, and we do have a lot of new people coming in from Steam. Kind of need to know a little bit of these little things that people do, and why is this person bowing at me and not hit? If you run across somebody from your team, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So what's, I guess overall, what's the next changes? It looks like they're trying to get more people to check it out, and then the reconstruction of Alliance and stuff. So do you have details on that?
Hopefully we get the next Alliance betas here soon, so we can actually look at that. I'll make more of an effort to get into that guy because we have had 4 or 5 now, so the system should be getting a little bit more closer to what it should be near the end. So I'm excited for that. At that point, we'll just have to see what the numbers do in my mind to see what it does to World versus World overall. Hopefully it's good. Oh, I shouldn't crush that. If they fight back, go for it, Azrael. But yeah, we'll just have to see what they do. Always numbers can always change, but looking at the big overall, it seems like this is a good move for World versus World in my mind. Definitely need to get hopefully it'll bring people into that game mode a little bit more. It is a fun game mode, but it can be a bit daunting.
That's why I was saying, because there's a lot of people don't know. I remember taking people first started, and going through, okay,
but with this change, you're gonna have
it might change all that stuff.
Yeah, it might change how people behave and behaviors and how things work. So it's best to not probably do any guide unless unless you have the inside scoop before everyone else. But other than that, you just wait until it goes live and see how the community accepts it. Because the thing is, you don't know if the community is going to accept it or not.
So if I may, would you guys like one of my favorite World versus World stories?
Sure.
Sure.
One of my favorites is this was back when the Zephyrites were first introduced and the balloons, like the Zephyrite balloon was just introduced. I was working on my very first legendary Meteorologicus, and at that time you needed to map all of World versus World for the gift of exploration. So I'm working on the jumping puzzles, and I need to do it on a borderland that is not mine. So my way of trying to run past the Zergs is I loaded into an area, stripped completely down to my skivvies, pulled out the balloon, and I bum rushed to the jumping puzzle. I'm pretty sure I confused a few people.
Well, that's one way to do it.
I was doing everything I could do to show I'm not hostile. I'm just trying to move to this area in the map. Please leave me alone.
It will overall just be interesting. I'm more curious on like the new like weekly reward type of thing. I'm wondering if it's going to be like not really a battle pass, but like just like in terms of like seasonal things are like I'm hoping they, if this does work out, they bring back World v World tournaments because I miss those. Like that was fun.
I do hope
So
with what I would like to see, especially with the achievements, especially with us getting the additional like 8 gold and 35 skirmish tickets. The one thing I would suggest to ANET, and I swear if I could have one of their ears, I would, is those Dolyak statues that are in each of the Borderlands main areas. Activate those again if you completed the past week's achievements. Just to give those things a use again, because they were a one-use thing. Another thing I'd like to see them do is reintroduce the Dolyak finishers in some way, shape, or form. Back when the tournaments were going on, like you were talking about their kit, and this is like years ago. First, second, and third in the respective tiers got a special finisher, which is just a statue of a Dolyak that's either gold, silver, or bronze. You got a stack of them. And when you finish someone, it just fell on top of them. It looked absolutely hilarious. And I turned off my randomized finishers just to make sure I accidentally don't use mine. So I still have like 100 of them.
Oh, nice. I like that they also just put like, they would put the statues too in the particular servers that won. Like the little Dolyak would sit right by the, like the keep people, whatever, for like where you spawn in for those maps. I don't know. I miss those. It was more fun. It was more challenging. Because you had to work as a team instead of everyone just sitting there trying to like off themselves.
Well, you would still have Zerkers.
You always have solo people and all that crap. But it was just, it felt more organized. It just felt like everyone was actually trying to achieve to get, to show off their server pride, their little section of peace.
Yeah. And it brought in a lot of players back when they did those tournaments. I mean, I'm pretty sure if the maps weren't always full, especially on the higher populated ones, they were, I would say, close to it. And with the changes with the alliances coming in, now would be a perfect time to re-implement a monthly or a weekly style tournament type thing, like an automated tournament like they do for PvP.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, for the PvE stuff, do you want to read real quick, like what's happening with that and why they're late?
I'm glad we're having him do this because I can't see it. It's too small.
I'm looking at the list right now. I'm not seeing where it is.
I'm blind.
List here.
While he's looking real quick, my favorite time in World versus World. Remember when it first started and the commanders would lead people off of cliffs and watch us all die? That was fun.
They still do that.
I haven't been in a commander group yet that's done that yet. I'm like, I miss those days.
Yeah, they still do that.
There's a reason I don't command. It's because I lemmings hard.
You turn around and look up, and all these people are falling on you. Plop, 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 plop.
I'm not seeing the PvE stuff on this list. I will have to go find that.
Yeah, you might have to go on the tweet itself because it was in that little thread.
I know they didn't give much info about it, but
it was on the tweet itself. I know for a fact it was there.
She knows everything. Shh. She's connected.
Don't we wish we all were?
I used to be connected, not no more. I retired.
So, while you look that real quick, or do you want me to pull it up? I can pull it up.
Pull it
really
up,
fast.
please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Oh, another announcement that they added into that thing while you're pulling it up.
Yep.
Jadebot workbenches on January 31st are going to be added to every major town.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's cool.
I was gonna
That
say,
would be
that
cool.
should make Mom excited since she uses that thing.
Yes,
So
that thing's making me. I mean, extra leather and cloth, having that thing in there. I'm telling you, I don't have no issue no more with leather and cloth.
Okay.
I do the treasure chest range just to kind of see what's around because I don't feel like there's anything better for that slot in my mind.
Yeah.
For my use, and I have the gift of the magic find, the magic trophy finder in mine.
I get plenty of magic find and karma and all that other.
Well, the magic find is for the gift of magic stuff, so it's blood,
I was gonna say.
venom,
Oh, okay. I
totems
didn't
and
know
stuff
that.
like that.
Okay, I thought it was like like magic find itself.
No.
Essences, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I get plenty of that. Okay, so I'll try that one.
So the tweet just says, "Hi all, and this was on the 25th of January. So if you're not keeping up with your social medias or your content makers or any of the other stuff that you tend to do on your day-to-day base of life, they basically tweeted out that, hi, we all know you are eager for next studio update and want to let you know that we are working hard on it. We are going to share a look at our 2023 plans for GuildWars2 in just a few weeks, and we have plenty for you to look forward to. In the meantime, Friday, January 27th, we'll share an outline of a QOL, which was the World We Roll thing that we just read now. And then February 3rd, we'll have a preview of the next GuildWars2 balance update. And then keep an eye on this channel for all the news. And for now, here's a little peek at the studio update that we're working on, which was just a screenshot of someone putting Summon Roadmap on the Reddit page. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I just seen the I just found the post as well. The image is like it looks like they're supposed to obviously redact information, but you can clearly read through the black text, the black mark to the black text. But I'd actually have to spend a minute to look at it to see what all it said. Looks like someone may have tried to do it. Oh, it's just trolling. Okay, yeah, if that's the right image, it's trolling. It's like, oh, we're supposed to keep this part secret. Make sure to cover it. That's literally what it says.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's why I figured this episode obviously is not a whole lot to do besides just kind of put our theories in because they're gonna be behind on their news, and that's fine. I'm not upset by that. All I wanted was just a simple note of just that, of them saying yeah, we're still working on stuff, and we're not ready yet.
We're back in studio. We're working hard. We're shaking off the holiday cramps and everything right now. So give us a few minutes and we'll be good.
A question. Dale asks, what would you like to see on the roadmap now that we have this World We Rolled thing already coming out?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
So me personally, I'm iffy on roadmaps in a sense. What I want more is just transparency. Like I don't mind a roadmap being put out, but if they just came out tomorrow and say, hey, we're not gonna have a roadmap for another month or two, please bear with us, but we do have an overhaul of this system ready to come out. That'll be mentioned more in the roadmap, or we'll have more of this stuff later on. Just here's a little bit of meat. We're still cooking on the barbecue. Barbecue is the roadmap. Here's a little bit to keep you guys going. Because I feel like the roadmap hard sets in stone stuff, and seeing as it's just after the holidays, I don't really care to see a roadmap. As for stuff you want to see coming up, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be getting into that a little bit later. And I got plenty for that.
Mom, what about you? Do you have any idea? Do you have something?
You know, I just want new living, new place to go and new stuff
You want
to
living world
do.
season? You want living
You
world
want a new
season
map, or you
season
want
6 already?
PvE, or your World v World, a new place? What are you talking about?
For PvE. You know, I
Well,
don't world versus
so you
world in
don't
PvP
care
much.
about Deo's question about World v World and what's to come?
I don't know what else could come because I'm not much in it. That's why
Well,
we
there you
have
go. You have
our
someone here
guest.
in the group who gives no F's about fucking World v World, apparently.
I go in
Just
there with
stated
friends
that.
and have fun. I don't push it. I do.
Well,
She's a casual.
I'm a filthy casual and I love it. Leave me alone. I'm in it for friends. Anybody want to be my friends?
It's okay.
After
For
all
me,
that
I'm on
talking,
the
I'm gonna
same
go stay
page.
in
I'm just on the same page of what Scylla said, and I'm also on the same page of just like, overall I would like to see, like I said earlier, tournaments. I want to see those come back. You know, like once after everything obviously settles out and they get the testing out, like when it gets to live, I guess fully, I would like to see tournaments again. It feels fun. It just feels fun, like we're all achieving, and it doesn't have to be like uh, long periods. It could just be either once a year or maybe every 3 or 4 months. I don't know. Or maybe when they do like the seasonal PvP changes, like for like each, like, you know, season for ranking or whatever, I may just put in then. I don't know. But the rewards would have to be obviously decent enough for people to even try. Which it sounds like that's what they're already kind of doing, anyways, with the objectives.
My only thing I have to say about world versus world is I don't know. I think a week's too long to shorten it. They switch things up.
Well, the weekly thing is just for like the entire match in general. There are what they have inside right now is called skirmishes that last every 3 or 4 hours. That's what they get their points from. The points stack
Right.
up over the week, but like your main thing is those 3 to 4 hour skirmishes. The only thing the weekly thing does is resets your chest gain, redos world linking if it needs to be done, and it just completely wipes all the points save for home keeps to restart the matchups at.
Right. I mean, I had so much fun in another game that their thing was only long as to get to a certain amount of kind of like PvP.
Yeah, but I feel like they're gonna
certain
have
points.
limits. They're not gonna make you be able to bust through it before, you know. It's probably gonna be spread out, and it's probably gonna only be like, it's kind of most likely be like a seasonal thing where it's only so many things you can get per day, so that people aren't rushing and getting done. Because then people can't go through, you know, go through and have people there to play. So
To comment on what Chewy Gummies just said in chat, it is 100% okay to be casual.
oh yeah, I'm mostly teasing my mom. You could be whatever you want. You could be hardcore, casual.
Yeah, I don't care.
Do what
I don't
you want
care.
with your life, and you
Do what you
play
want
this
and what you want. You play the game to have fun and do whatever makes you happy to have.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
For people that watch this on YouTube later, we are talking to people that are on Twitch chat. So every once in a while, if it sounds off or weird, that's why. We're just answering Twitch chat. Okay, are we done with World v World stuff?
I would say we're pretty good on World versus World.
Okay.
Put a
Do
spike
you
in
want to talk about your thing first, or do you want to do brainstorming of what's to come?
I guess let's get my thing out of the way first, because I feel like we can go for a very long time with brainstorming. We'll be bouncing off each other very easily on that.
Yeah, and if the chat wants to interact, they can. Okay. So, obviously, you see someone in the chat. People on YouTube will not be able to see in the chat, but we have someone named Tyria Help Desk. This is Sylva's account, and I will let him lead the way on explaining on why the change, Has it been something that he's enjoying and all other stuff? So lead the way on your content journey.
All right. So, yeah, this is syllabus here. Also, Tyrian Help Desk. We do. So we mostly play GuildWars2, obviously. And this is GuildWars2 podcast. But for a while, I went under my usual handle, which is syllabus. And if I can't grab that, I'll grab like 1290. 1290 being December 90, my birth, essentially my birth year, and all that stuff. But my part of it was like 5% of it was to get rid of the numbers on the end of my name because I absolutely hate numbers at the end of my name. The other was to try and get more of like a community thing going. So like we changed up my Discord, we changed up everything to Tyrian Help Desk, and it's pretty much if anybody in my community, whether it's on my Discord, whether it's on my Twitter, says, "Hey, we found this interesting thing," or "Hey, we made this interesting thing. Can you post it somewhere where
And
folks can see it?" Whoop.
not to interrupt you. Oh,
Oh.
did you get
We
me?
lost him.
Oh,
Oh, oh.
Not me this
I
time.
just got disconnected because it was me. It was probably booting me out as well. Oh no! What? Oh, we got kicked out of the map.
We all got kicked out.
That's what happened.
it still shows you. It still shows. Where did you guys wind up at?
Oh,
Oh, you're
down
down
here.
over there. Here, I'll come pick you up.
Yeah.
I broke it. I broke it. I ran into a wall.
Gotcha.
I'm still loading.
I'll come pick you guys. Come pick you guys up.
Sorry, we're end game as we do this. As the Tyrian, how often do you have to tell other races when interacting with a Sura attack to try and turn it off and then again, on again?
We get
and-
lots of calls about that. Probably
And then I guess one of your
3
fellow
times a day.
helpers said, "We also do raid training. Don't forget that." Figure out.
Yes, as well. I will be getting into that a little bit later. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of make it more like a community thing. I even made a website. I don't know if you want to pimp that out.
Oh,
But
yeah,
we're
let
trying to
me
make
get the link too.
I'm trying to make guides on that as well for stuff that me and some friends play. Our first like big guide that we actually did was for Halloween because when I set up the website, it was around that time. So I went through.
Sorry to
What's up?
interrupt you. Do you have the link still or no?
Yeah, I can get you a link
Can
in
you,
like
yeah,
2 seconds
and
here.
link it, and then
Yep,
also later I'll grab it from you so I can actually add it to the YouTube later.
I'm just gonna throw it right in general chat for you right there.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so the site is still very heavily under construction. It's whenever I'm not being lazy, I'll actually work on it because I'm the only one who has access to the back end of it. But I'm trying to make so we try to make guides. So, the first guide we have up right now is for Mad King's Labyrinth, just the labyrinth specifically. And what I tried to do is I went in, got screenshots of all the attacks that I could figure out, went to the wiki, grabbed information off the wiki, and tried to match it to the attacks. So we explained like all the bosses, a good route to take if you're trying to command for it, going both inner and outer, because I know some people will only stay outer on labyrinth. Some people don't even
Right.
touch inner. We put up a whole map. It's like, hey, here's a good one to follow if you're trying to get the most bags per hour. And me and a friend of mine, we just went back and forth for like a day or two, just hashing out all the details. Then I went in and got screenshots, typed up the entire page, put it all up on there, and got it ready. Currently, we're working on a much bigger guide for silver wastes. I think I got the first page done. I'm working on the second page. We got 5 pages total that we're gonna be doing
Now,
this.
are you just
I'm
gonna
just trying to.
do like the main, like just like bigger metas or whatever, or are you gonna add a raid on there at some point, like how Snow Crows and all them do, or is it just like just here
So
and
right
there,
now-
helpful kind of informational guide as your end goal for this website? Sorry, go ahead.
End goal is trying to get onto everything, I would say, in my mind. Right now it's just we're focusing on like the big stuff that people would run for like gold and trying to help them earn their gold per hour type thing. I think me and a few people talked that as soon as we finish up with Silver Waste, we're gonna go to Dragon's Bloodtide Coast. and get ready for that monstrosity. Just to kind of explain what people can do to farm that easier, because when I see people ask, hey, what are good things to farm, it's usually T4 fractals, silver waste, or blood tide.
Okay.
Not blood tide,
Fractals
just
would be actually, I would say, yeah, that would be nice to know. Even though there's a lot of guides already, I think that it's just nice to see different perspectives. That word. But yeah, I guess. First of all, I know you gotta keep going on for everything else. You did also have a major 24-hour, like, woo, to this whole change, right? Pretty much.
yeah.
And how did that
Well,
go?
it was a kind of, we're doing this change, and it was partly it's a birthday stream, and my community was asking for a 24-hour stream. So what we did for that 24-hour stream is we made a brand new character. I cannot say the name. It's like Still the Ensia or something like that. We made a Necromancer Sylvari. So for like a month leading up to the event, I posted polls on Twitter going, hey, do you want the character to be male or female? Let that run for 2 days, grab the answer. What race? Grab the answer. Then we went through all the story questions. Once that finished up, we uh made the character at midnight my time, boosted her to level 80 inside the tutorial on the first mission where you fight the Shadow of the Dragon with Kaith, and then we just went from episode 1 as far as we could. And I think we ended up in Living World season 2 episode 3 after like 22 to 23 hours. And we skipped cutscenes, we ran as fast as I could through that stuff. So I think we beat core after 8, almost 9 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to do in this game. Holy Jesus.
It sounds like you at least learned your lesson of what a human body can sometimes handle, or at least yours. On top of, at least a big opening of Tyrian Help Desk, I will say, even coming to your stream, from my point of view too, of just like, I see you just actively, just constantly, just like, is there anything anyone needs? And people, if they need stuff, fractals, runs, achievements, collections, whatever. You guys are pretty helpful. Even your people, like your
In the
moderators,
guild,
your
they're very
what do you call it?
helpful
Yeah.
too,
So
because I'm in there and I watch people ask, and if
Yeah.
people are on, they'll answer, or, get help
Yeah.
somewhere. So
So the main thing I'm trying to cultivate with this group is when I'm streaming, I'll do specific things on specific days. So today's Saturday, tonight we're gonna be doing raids. And with that, I'll try to stream our raid attempts. And if someone comes in and goes like we had a great example last week. Someone didn't know I was calling out greens while facing the Veil Guardian. And
right.
while we were doing another attempt, I was sitting there moving my camera around while still trying to do my thing, going, "Hey, this is a raid boss. He does this at specific health intervals. You can see the HP up here. He's going to do this at this time, this at this time. This is what the greens stand for. But on top of the greens, we also have to
Right.
look out for reds, blues. If you can't see the blues, look for this thing on your screen. Just when someone comes in and asks for a hand, if it's something that I'm knowledgeable about, I will go X, Y, Z, B, and try to get
At
them
least
like
you
as
got the
much
brain
information as I
capacity
can.
to do that. For me, I'm too busy focusing on the AoE and everything else in the boss to be like, like I don't mind helping, but it better be on the part that I'm already on, because I would just be like dead trying to help.
Yeah,
So
but then Mondays we do dungeons and Tuesdays we do fractals. And one thing I like doing with the dungeon runs is if I go into like an Ascalon Catacombs story mode, because if nobody in my chat needs a hand with a dungeon, and after every single time I finish a dungeon, I turn to my chat and go, "Hey, who needs a hand?" And if nobody speaks up after like 2 or 3 minutes, I just go to the LG, I start looking, and we keep going. But if I get in that one group that's like purely new players, like this person doesn't even have 300 AP, they barely hit level 30, they probably don't even know what their elite skill does yet. I try to have a little bit of fun. Without skipping catacombs, I'll skip the first cutscene and I'll get to where you have to open up the coffins in the first room. And I'll walk up to the door and go, And I'll type this
Right.
in chat like a role player. It's like, looks like there's a keyhole here, but the key's not by the door. It's obviously locked. Let's start opening up coffins and see if the key's somewhere in there. And as soon as Nappa spawns, who is the holder, I go, he's got the key around his waist. We need to take him out. I'll
Nice.
break character here and there to point out specific things, like the very first flame jet after you get out of Nappa's room that kills like most players.
Mm-hmm.
I'll point that out, and then I'll point out the mural's waypoint when you kill Nente, because I'll say, hey, most people will go to Nente first to get this waypoint. Let's go kill him first, and we'll go for the other two bosses. I'll be back in character, then I'll break character and say, hey, back to murals. Let's take out Adelburn.
Well, I guess for the race stuff, are you advertising for people, or is Ezreal just wanting to talk about the race? Like,
I think Azrael is one of our group members. Me and him are actually switching roles. He was playing heal alacrity mechanist,
okay,
and I believe he's going to be going over to a quickness harbinger build, while I'm going to be going to a heal alacrity druid build to try and help with the seekers when we do Veil Guardian. So me and him are buddies. We're just swapping places. But yeah, we do. He just wants us to talk about the rates a little bit.
I mean that's fine. I think that's one thing in the future that well later on in this podcast that we'll talk about too, things that we would hope to come. So I think that's one thing in
Yeah,
the community. A lot of people want, I guess, more rates. So
yeah,
do you feel like there's
and
enough right now for you, or do you feel like another one should be popped out by now?
I'm gonna backtrack for just a quick second with
No
the help
problem.
desk. We are doing we do have a full static that we have, but we're starting to get a few more people in that are wanting to learn raids. So
Are you doing so
we'll-
you have a main stack and then you're doing a training one, or what?
so our training is our main static.
Okay, 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 okay.
Like, I think there's three or four people in our static that knows raids, and two of us are teaching. I want to go full progression, so as soon as we finish up with wing 1, we go to wing 2. The other teacher wants to go from wing 1 to wing 4, just because she doesn't want to have to teach for wing 2. But I feel I
Right.
know it decently enough, and the group's pretty good. It's
If
just
it
we need to
goes
nail down
well,
certain
if it
mechanics
goes
so we can knock it
well
out.
at some point, I think me and
Yeah, I
mom will
plan on
have
going
to
through all
join
of
you
them.
guys. Like when you guys go around again or something, me and mom will have to join so that mom can get through it and check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to get some
Um.
legendary armor.
As for should there be more raids, at this minute, should there be more raids? Yes, I do feel like they are going to add more raids. It is a very popular game mode. They wouldn't have done as many tweaks to the game mode recently if there wasn't the popularity for that game mode. So, Raid Wing 8, it's not an if it's going to happen, it's a when it's going to happen question. From there, we'll see. We'll get into it later with with our projection for Guild Wars 2 in that section.
Is there anything else you want to say about your thing, or
If you
about your
guys
name,
want,
or what to follow you by? Like, what do you want them to still follow you on both socials and all
so
stuff? Sorry.
Tyria Help Desk is just the overall name of the group. Obviously because I run all the content, I got to go by that name. But if you guys are
Sorry,
just
guys.
syllabus and Tyria Help Desk
I
are
had
mostly going to be
something get
interchangeable.
stuck in my throat.
But if you guys are looking to wanting to help out with us, TyrianHelpDesk.com. I know Kit threw it up in the Twitch chat, and hopefully it'll be in the YouTube video a little later. We do have a Discord. There is a button to join the Discord up in the top right on the website. There's also a Twitter at Tyrian Help Desk on Twitter. We announce when we're going to go live for streams. So if you guys
I'll
need a
make
hand,
sure
you
to
can
add
jump
all
on there.
that too on the YouTube, like your links
Okay.
and stuff for you.
But on top of that, if you guys want to get some goodies from Twitter, I've started running a 2K gem code giveaway every week. This is our 4th or so week of doing it, and so far it's gone pretty good. Usually just needs a retweet to get in. Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get on Twitter.
If I may give a hint real quick, make sure you at least have a display picture.
Okay. Sorry, I had to like choke on something. I don't know what I choked on. It wasn't my spit. It wasn't anything in particular. But I fucking it
She's
just
choking on her words.
I
Oh no,
just it hit
the
me.
Chokey Ghost is back.
And now I'm like I'm just trying to breathe right now. So I guess if there's anything else more to that, or is that all for you?
Unless Serene has a question.
Yeah. Do you have any
Nope.
questions for him?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm,
Does
I'm
anyone
sorry,
in the chat have a
Serene.
question?
As long as we know each other, he still does this because he knows it irks me, you know. But it's like, at least he doesn't, I don't know. Better than called Serine. I had a friend call
I'm
me
gonna call you
Serine.
Saren next time we
Don't do that
this.
because
I'm
that's
gonna
like
say,
sarin
"Welcome
gas.
to my
No,
Saren."
no.
So if anybody wants a history lesson, me and Serene here go way back to Guild Wars 1.
We used to DJ together for
Yep,
Gwyn
we did.
Radio.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when you were talking about doing your stream. I don't remember the days of staying up and farming in Guild Wars 1, all those dyes to make the pink dye before they came out with the pink dye trader. And then all what was it, 8 hours for the event for Pink Day itself. So like what, 30
We
something
had to
hours?
get
to be at stream?
ectos, obsidians for giveaways.
Oh
and
my
stuff.
god. Oh yeah, all the giveaway stuff we farmed up.
Consumables.
I don't think I can do that anymore.
So every great once in a while, I'll get a hair up my butt to go back into Guild Wars 1 and just kind of reminisce. When I do go back, I'll jump on my ritualist and I'll load up the SOS build and I'll go into Underworld to Ecto Farm and I'll do like a run or two.
Yep.
The funny story with that, while Kit deals with the choking demon, is I randomly logged on and my old guild member was on. So we started talking, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to go to Underworld and Ecto Farm for a second." He's like, how do you Ecto Farm? It's like, dude, you were the one who taught me how to Ecto Farm. It's like, I don't remember teaching nobody how to Ecto Farm. So I sent him the build, everything, took him down there, and showed him the route I take for Ecto Farming. And he's like, I barely remember this. It's like, I haven't played this game for like 9 years, and I remember how to Ecto Farm. Come on, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Use your ritualists and you have your spirits up. Yep. I had fun doing that.
The other good farm was the Vatir farm on the Amo.
Yep.
For people who don't know, what you would do is you would activate the hard mode of the game, so it would increase enemies levels from like 21 to 27.
Kind of wish they had that in Guild Wars 2 for like just even the open area, just hard mode, and all the characters turn into like vets or champs at this point, and not normal mobs.
But you load into an assassin monk, so you'd have a lot of assassin skills and some monk skills. You would run through an area and pray you didn't get hit or you died. And it was a pretty long area. And then you'd go to because it connected to the area you needed to farm in. And back in Guild Wars 1, everything was like instance based. So you'd leave the town, you'd have your own instance of one map, and then you go to the other instance of the next map. So you load into this next map, you would cast all the skills on you, run into this group of like 30 enemies, and just stand there until they were all on top of you because they couldn't kill you at this point.
Yep.
And then you just cast a few skills, watch them all die, pick up your loot, run to the other side of the little town you're in, do the same thing to the next 30 enemies, run out of the area, run back in, and you just keep doing that until your inventory was full of rares, and then you'd sell those for decent money.
Yep, I remember that. Oh gosh. I kind of wish sometimes that this game would have heroes and hints. Takes, because there's a lot of people I follow Guild Wars Casual on Facebook or Guild Wars 2 Casuals, to all the things on Facebook, and somebody brought up in Casual like, I don't like playing with other people. I want to do dungeons. Can I run dungeons by myself? Can I run fractals by no, you gotta have people.
I think at some point they might relook at that because Final Fantasy was smart about that this year and last year and brought in the trust system, which was basically what the heroes were, and they brought in these NPCs that will take over those players that would be there, and you just run with the NPCs. And I'm sure they would have to nerf like the loot that you would get a little bit, just like they did in Guild Wars 1, where you wouldn't get as much or at least as like as many drops or whatever of things because of it, but it would be, I don't know, doable, especially if it's just for like dungeons and raid or something solo, not like open world wise.
Right. But I mean, and I can see there's people who don't like socializing at all with anybody, and
Well, and like, Swift
it's
even
like,
said that even New World's going to solo, and I would say it's not even only New World. ESO, they also have a system where you can pretty much solo a lot of the like they built their system where if you can't find people, you can easily do it by themselves. Guild Wars at some point is going to have to get on some kind of system because
or even just for
certain
dungeons
content
and
areas is going to be kind of
right.
dry and dead.
Like you can buy some, or you pick up some heroes or something, like, because I need to finish my collections dungeons, the armors and the weapon skins for each dungeon. I can't find anybody to do dungeons with. Nobody wants to do them no more. So it's like,
Well, if you do, you have to get on a peak time to get them.
right, so it's, yes, it's like if I can go and say, okay, I need a monk, I need somebody to heal, I need to help me with or whatever, a couple things, pull them in there with me. I would deal with getting half the tokens, you know what I mean, if you had to do that, just to where I can,
Serine, have you seen the changes to the dungeon token system or no?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which one, but I still want to do them all because I don't like doing the same stuff over, except I won't do a raw that much, but I hate a raw. But
yeah, Raw's the only one I'm kind of iffy on. That's the only one I really don't look at when I'm doing the LFG stuff. I'll do every other path save for a Raw nowadays.
Yeah,
something like that. Azrael said, do like a home system where you can recruit and train up troops to help you dungeons, etc. That would be epic. Yeah, that way there's people out there who even want to do the story mode that haven't done. There's all these new people and they can't get people who know how to do the dungeons to go with them, so
right.
they don't want to do it. So yeah, there's a lot of people that haven't even been through dungeons because they can't get the group going, so
right. It's kind of like also what I was saying before too. I mean, on another subject with all this stuff is just mapping too. Like I know that EOD, because I saw what you put to me in common civils about, like, at least with EOD you can repeatable maps by just doing the lanterns. I wish they would do that with their old setting, either that or just have a button where I pay a certain amount of karma to reset my stuff, because the sucky part is I don't want to have to keep spending gems to open another character slot to buy, so that I can get more maps for my legendaries. And instead, I just have to delete or whatever if I don't want to spend the money to get said maps, because the old content doesn't have that new system. You know what I mean? So, there's certain things this game is a little outdated with, and I'm not. They might already have it in the plan, like maybe they already have it in the future, maybe they already see it, and it's something that they're working for. I don't have any qualms against anyone that's making the game. It's something that they should look forward in the future, is probably that is certain things that need to be for solo play, reset play, whatever it may be, because a lot of these other MMOs and RPG MMOs, whatever you want to call it, are kind of already on that step towards to help people who either can't play all the time with a group of people, or maybe they need to get certain things done but don't want to have to do it on a whole nother character, stuff like that.
Yeah, the introduction of the lamplighter achievements is probably one of the biggest things I've seen in Guild Wars 2 for a very long time, and it is definitely a addition I would love to see added into the rest of the game. One thing that I could see them doing is like a mastery for the the Jade bot to help it like recharge its own charges, like 1 a minute or so, if that, to where people who are like in core Tyria, who are doing the quote unquote lamplighter badge for Tyria, if they ever added it,
just a little bit on the same topic with the
around.
Jade bot thing that we are talking about, and with what your Ezra said earlier, like You could probably use. They could make another mastery line and just make you train a bunch of Jade bots, and maybe one be like support sorta, and one be and then you just take the Jade bots into those things, like into the dungeons or whatever.
Yep.
And obviously, you would probably have to put a particular limit because you probably don't want these people going into a raid with all this and then be able to get all this stuff, because that'd be unfair, unrewarding
I
for
wouldn't
raiders
do
and
raids.
stuff like that. This
I mean,
would be
basic
for just dungeons.
content.
Like
basic content.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine?
I want to do that now. I would love to have my minion master necromancer walk into Conicus's manor with an army of ornithopters and just go, "Fly, my pretties!"
It would be funny.
Yeah.
It would be funny, I would say. I mean, it would give more use to those Jade bots besides just picking you up and, swimming around you or whatever and grabbing things, so...
The topic of the Jade bots, has anybody noticed, okay, when they came out, they made, when you charged it up, it went away when you went off the End of Dragons maps. And then they went to wherever you went, and if you went back, it still had the same charges. Like if you had it maxed up, to still be whatever. Now it's back to where you got to, every time you that area and you go back in, you got to redo it. It's driving me crazy. I wish it'd make a point.
Last time I looked, the only time my charges got removed was when I logged out.
It's like, it's driving me crazy.
I told her I think it's just like a weird bug that she might have just got, because I don't think it's ever happened for me wise, but I don't know, it could have probably happened to others and maybe they just hot fixed it and no one just noticed it. But before we go back to everything, so what was the original topic? This is why I
That's why you don't have podcasts with your mother, because she messes shit up.
This is why
sorry.
This has been thoroughly enjoyable.
I'm trying to... Okay, so... Rewind. Okay, we talking about solo content for a second. Obviously, we all agree that there needs to be a little bit better assistance with that when people can't find help or get assistance or get groups. Now, do we want to talk about what we think might actually come then?
Yeah, this is actually a
what I want to come.
This is a topic I'm actually eager for. Okay. Especially because I looked at the stream page right now, so I can see chat. Abaddon in a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Well, so
do you not think Abaddon is not curating all this situations that are happening right now?
I am so down for Suwon 2, Kormir Bulu.
Like, where? Okay, here's my question. Let's see what Mom's doing. Mom, what do you think's gonna happen this year to us group of commanders and our dragon people, like our fellow friends, what do you think's gonna happen?
I have no clue.
And who do you think's gonna come after us next? Like, who has a grudge against us?
I think we're gonna have to be either dealing, because we have one dragon. They can't say it's into dragons because we still have Serine. So I either think somebody's gonna come kidnap Serine, or we gotta do something, or the gods come and kidnap Serine.
Hang on, hold on for a second. What were you gonna say, Silva?
It is classified that even though Serine is an elder dragon at this point, she is not like the other ones. If you listen to Kralkatork during his fight, you'll have like his hungry side scream, she betrays her kind, and you'll have Kralk and his clear mind go, no, she is the first of her kind.
Right, but what I'm saying is we still need her to keep our world balanced, okay? So gods maybe come back because it's balanced.
I mean, that's what we think, because what's-her-face said that supposedly if all the dragons are gone, the world kapoofs, it goes away.
Yeah, or do we go to where they disappeared too?
Because she might not be the same as Sybil says, so I don't know.
That's
so how I see Serine is exactly, so Serine is essentially the prism dragon. She is all of them, but none of them at the same time, but her own thing at the same time.
Oh, you know what? Hang on. Before we even go any further. Okay, if you're listening to this, any part of this conversation right now, and you have not played the frickin' story in a while, or I guess if you haven't beat the story, then you might want to turn off the stream, because this is probably spoilers. But for the rest of us who's already probably played and kept up to this point, we're just brainstorming and thinking of what's to come. It's not written in stone. And like I said earlier at the beginning of the podcast, if it does become true, then, you know...
All this is headcanon. If anything comes out, it's pure quinkening.
Just saying. But other than that, yeah. Okay, now, continue. I almost forgot because I was like, man, we start talking about this and then someone's just, you know, they're just vibing and minding the business, listening, and someone drops something and then they weren't warned. I don't want to get yelled at, so.
Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's father.
No! No.
Hey, that'll go with my stormtrooper.
Oh, no.
My Star Wars guild, you know?
Okay.
No, okay. Now, do you remember where you were gonna talk, Sib, since she messed it up?
I messed you up.
Yeah. So with Aurene being all of them, being able to channel, I don't think Timey's prediction is going to go through because Aurene can give what the world needs by focusing through her.
I just think Aurene is no longer an important play of the chess piece anymore.
Yes, and when
like she's here, I'm not saying you're a baby dragon, so none of y'all come for my fucking throat. Because I know
you're
how
canceled
much you guys
now.
love Aurene.
You are a dragon. She's a dragon.
But
she don't like dragon. No.
I feel like she's just gonna sit on her pretty pedestal now, and maybe, you know, interact with us here and there, because now that all the dragons have been dealt with, supposedly, unless there's like a space fucking dragon waiting for us somewhere, at this point they're dealt with. So.
I mean, we still got the Aether Blades. We still got those other things to fight, but I don't know.
Not really, because they're just following whatever, and even then, it's not a thing anymore. Because
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
Anka
not really that
is
much.
gone.
Yeah,
and
Anka and Trin are gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trin. Trin's gone, and Trin was even at a point where she was telling them not to be doing crap. It was Anka that was doing the opposite and pushing the Aether Blade to like not listen to orders, basically. So.
Yeah, Trin seemed to be trying to redeem herself, and I think if Trin was allowed to live, we could see the Aether Blades kind of redeem themselves entirely as a group. It would have started from the head down because Scarlet got them all together within dubious means. Trin was the next in command, with Scarlet going the way of Bram. No, the dragons. Then that left Trin in charge. But then Anka came in and kind of usurped her role. If Trin would have stayed, I could have honestly seen like a fracture in all the Aether Blades, where you had like the good side who had been like, yeah, we messed up, we did some bad things, let's work to get our names back in good graces, and you would have just the true degenerates who joined in just to still be pirates.
Yeah.
But at that point, you would have like the Trin faction, then you'd have the Anka faction if they would have.
They said, funnily enough, we are following a dragon in the end in a weird way. Sons of Samgir, I can't even say the name anymore, had its right this whole time in the worst way possible. And you're sick of dragons? Well, too bad, apparently. Can't be sick of them. They'll always be here, apparently. So,
yeah, I could see us moving off of dragons unless there are more elder dragons we don't know about that exist in other continents. But that'll get to when I open up my prediction slide.
Okay.
All right.
What else, Mom? What else do you? Well, I was gonna ask you. Do you think what bad guy do you think is after you? Then you said gods. You think the gods? That's all I was gonna.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gods. I think the gods are
going to... particular? All of them? Or just a certain one?
I don't know. I think something's going to happen to where either they're going to split and we got to team up with maybe
full genocide mode, let's go.
Yeah, you know, like the ones who are for us and the ones who don't want us, and you know.
Now, do you think What were those the baddies in Kanta with the mask? What were they called? The cult, those one cultists.
The Ministry of Purity.
Yeah, I mean, even though we dealt with the main guy that supposedly was handling everything, do you think there's still an actual bigger head on that plate that could continue on for, like, living story wise?
So I could see Living World season 6 if we, as a lead-in to. Okay, so let's say the gods are who we go after, and we have Lissa, and we have Lissa come back as the first one, as Beck said in chat. I could see a new head of the ministry, because we don't know if Lee was like the head of that organization, because they're an underground organization.
Right,
He could have just been a really powerful flunky.
I wonder, like, and that's why I said for that part in particular, I feel like it would just be like kind of like the Codicus thing, where it's like a minimum boss compared to what was the bigger problem, which was, you know, Balthazar pretending to be fucking the thing, you know. So
Lazarus.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe they could touch on that a little bit more and maybe make something. But then it's like at the same time we kind of just like we know now, and we're just like, okay, you're just another bandit of gang.
We're
you know?
going to a different new world through the castle. Floating castle.
Apparently.
Oh, God.
That's it.
I wish, but that's not going to be a thing. Cause even when I went to look on the wiki, apparently some dev must have been asked enough about it that they just were like, no. So either that castle's on a last reserve, or they just don't, like, that castle's just there for looks.
That was just for decorations, whatever. No, that is too, that thing is just, whenever you go by it, you're always looking, what the hell? Well,
Right.
you know, you sit there and you think and you wonder, and like, that is just too cool to be.
Is it Beck
just
or
simply
Beak?
there?
I don't know if I'm.
Beck 151.
Okay, Beck said Lissa's vision lore status stuff on it. That's where, like, I can kind of see what Mom was saying, that maybe we do have to deal with another god or so, because again, it was brought up that, you know, Balthazar had the mirror, which belongs to Lissa. So, like, and she wasn't really around when, Cormier's quoted that she thought everyone went up to, you know, vacation mode, you know, so.
Well, there's more lore on that. I believe it is when you craft the legendary weapon, the legendary trinket Vision.
What does it say on there,
I believe that I'm doing this off the top of my head, so it's not gonna be quote for quote, but it is something along the lines of they seen what we did to Balthazar, and they're probably, and if they ever actually come back, Lissa's probably going to be the first one to come through, and she's gonna. Yeah, thank you, Beck. They killed Balthazar. If Lissa ever learns of this, I don't know what she'd do, what any of them would do. They still claim benevolence, but let's hope they weren't watching too closely.
Yep. See, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I think that to come and hear what we're done and see what we've done. Getting too close to knock us down.
Why would Cormier sit there and act all buddy and then, you know, peace out, you know, just deuce? Why would she come after our throats? Lissa, maybe, but I don't know. Cormier, we didn't do nothing to her.
Yeah, I could see if the gods do come back, I can see 2 at best coming with vengeance in their eyes. One of them being Lissa. And I could probably see maybe Dwayna or something, because of like just our absolute
this is what I think too. I think if Cormier
life.
wants to come down, then I'll just go knock on Abaddon's little freaking door and say, "Come on, right back out. We got to do a part 2 of, you know, this dance on, because this lady's coming down to try and threaten me, and I need the powers of what you had that made her do what she does. So let's go." So, you know,
you want to become a Margonite?
Yeah, that's right. I just to take care of her, sure, I'll do that. Like,
I don't think it's a reversible process.
You know what? That's fine by me at this point.
Deo says,
dance away in my little corner.
Says, well, people made the Cantha joke until we got you.
Let's
start the castle joke. Maybe
right to start the castle joke, get it going. I don't know. Is that overall what
the castle?
Do you think, is there going to be any more, I would say, mounts or mastery things that you think would come on as well for this year? Like any new traits, or something that you would like to see if they came out as a new mastery or mount? Or are you sick of mounts coming about so that you have to collect them?
I just don't want to. I'm sticking to what I got. Sticking to what I got. I have to. If anybody's listening, she forced me to get my sky scale, and I complained and dug in my heels and threw a fit, and I didn't want it. I was perfectly fine with my griffin, and now I want to thank her because I love my sky scale. And I hardly use the other stuff, and I need more. I have about 2 skins for my sky scale, so
Right.
now I gotta buy skins for my.
Well, if that's all you think for now, Sylvis, tell me what you think might. Who? First of all, who's the next baddie for you? In your mind might come about. 2 of them if you want. You can say a mini one, like a mini boss kind of thing, and then a big major plot boss.
We need a big world map boss, a new one somewhere.
So I've had a few thoughts about this when you introduced what the topic of the stream would be. So let's go. Living World Season 6 starts, and we have the wedding with not Cormier.
Are you going with
Marjorie
the blood wedding like Game of Thrones or what? Yep.
No. I want Living World Season 6 Episode 1 to be just a relaxing story. Just, hey, everything's said and done. We got our 10 years. Here's our celebration
Marjorie
party.
and Cass on honeymoon.
So we see Marjorie and Cass on their honeymoon. We run around with them a little bit. We could see Logan's little house in South Sun Cove,
or see a little romance. See a little romance. Logan and the Queen.
You want to be that? You want to be the third one while they're smooching up on each other? I'm good.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Yes. Yes. But like that happens in episode 1 of season 6. And then I feel like we can go a few different ways. One way I could see us going is I had some people talk about Guild Wars Utopia. Us going into the mists, visiting that Aztec themed tribe that is inside the mists, and possibly figuring out where the humans come from. And if we did that,
Blish back. Yeah. That's
and if we and if we did that, I can totally see us going full deicide. At that point, just saying, you know what, gods suck. Let's start knocking them off.
That's where, like, if we did do that, I could see the gods coming back down because then we are messing with things that we shouldn't be messing with.
Yeah, and it would just be cool to see where the humans come from. Probably give more of a lore to the cliffside fractal with the big guy that's chained up to the wall. And then it would reintroduce the gods to us again, which would be really interesting.
I would love to know more about him, to be honest. I would do a whole game about just big giant people. That would be great.
And if we really wanted to go the second verse, same as the first, we could have the corruption of Abaddon slowly taking over Cormier and make her the big baddie of the big baddie.
Go on.
And I can imagine how many people would be so happy to walk up to Cormier and smack her in the face with a hammer.
That's right. Not only praise Joko, but praise Abaddon. Let's go. The mighty. That's my god. That's my homie. If they would have put in the character select which god is your favorite, they should have put Abaddon in there. I would have clicked on it.
You've danced in front of both the statues, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, during that 24-hour stream, we went into the underwater one where the Abaddon statue is. That one does not interact with you if you dance in front of it.
Oh, what?
They were not thinking that far ahead. They did not think about that when they put that Abaddon statue in. So there's one Abaddon statue in this game that is safe to dance in front of. If you dance in front of the other 2, you die. I tested. I remembered. The other divergent path I would love to see is we stay here on Tyria, the planet, and this goes back to what Simply Dia was joking about with the Cantha joke. When they were getting ready for the next expansion drop at the time, which was going to turn to End of Dragons, I was praying we were not going to go to Cantha. I was like, okay, Cantha would be nice, but I want to go somewhere new. We need to go to Kim. We need to go somewhere else that is not Tyria, Alona, or Cantha. I want to see somewhere new. But now that Cantha's done, we're probably gonna have Living World Season 6 kind of spread around into more of Cantha, which is perfectly fine. But the next expansion pack, I want to go somewhere new. I do not want to go Cantha, Alona, or Tyria. We have to go somewhere new.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's hard.
Now you're talking
because,
expansion, right?
like,
Not
are you
living.
talking about like world or expansion for Mom? Like a whole new continent in a sense.
You know, like Living World,
yes,
the next one, or
I want a brand new continent to go to. Kim is a new continent.
Well,
It's like
for
KHIM or
it
something like
looks
that.
like if you did look at the map, by the way, it looks like they're slowly. I think someone said some of the map looked like it was starting to like get, but we still have like drown kind. The
Yeah, so there's
so it
still
looks
Count
like we're gonna
Drying. There's
be.
so
And then Clean
the places that are
Peaks,
up are John Kainé, Great Sort of Highlands, Karen Peak are some places we could go
Echo
to.
Forest.
But you can see other areas like that are kind of detailed with names on top of them up in Tyria as well that we have not gone to.
And then the
Isle
unending ocean is
Jantier,
very interesting. There's a spot up here too. I just noticed.
Char Homelands, a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to be on any one of these three continents.
Right. I can see that.
If we return to the Ring of Battle Island, I'd be fine with that for like one episode of the season. Or if they just add as like, hey, Ring of Fire Islands, here's player housing. Have fun. It's like at that point I'd be like, what? I'm sorry, let's go make a house now. And I would go make a house.
yeah, I kind of wish they'd do player house.
But if we went with if we did the lead up to the next expansion pack, with the story, what I would want to see is, I know you don't want her to still be in it, but I want Irene to still be kind of a somewhat
she can
centerpiece.
be in it. I think they need to take a break of Dragon. And like it's getting stalled. Like that's boring. To me, it's boring.
But
that's nothing wrong with the story for people who enjoy that. But you know, a dragon is a dragon at the end of the day, and there's no like. Okay.
But what I would have that story be in my mind is, instead of it's like a group. So say there's so many other races that are in all the other continents around Tyria, and they're looking at everything that's going on in Tyria, and they've seen all the dragons come from Tyria, completely wrecked Tyria, completely wrecked a bit of Canth and all that stuff. They're like, okay, you know what? Fine.
Right.
They figured out how to save the world, but we're done with dragons. The big baddie is now a group of extremists wanting to destroy Irene, but keep her the same way that the Jade works here in Cantha. The magic is still transferred through her to keep the world in balance, but she's the last Elder Dragon and killed.
To get killed, or is going to get killed?
They're trying to kill her. So whether she lives or whether she dies.
Like, do they know that if she does die, the world goes kaploop? Or...
But here's the thing: is the world doesn't go so they find a way to channel the magic of the world through what would remain her corpse, to where the world doesn't go kaput. But they want to kill her just so she doesn't go crazy like all the other Elder Dragons did.
So like people that are just still scared of dragons in general because of what the other ones did.
Well, she's a new dragon, they said a different thing. We still don't know if she's crazy.
Yeah, we don't know if she'll go crazy like the other ones did, because even Kragatork and them sit there and say, it's like, no, our hunger got the better of us, and the reason why we rampage and the reason why we wake up and kill everything every 10,000 years is because we're hungry. They don't know if Irene will do the same thing, so it's one of those, we know how the other ones acted, better safe than sorry, let's just nip this in the bud, and they try to kill her. But the one thing I want to happen in the story, and it would mostly be for laughs, and I know I'm gonna piss someone off in chat when I say this, Timmy needs to die.
Thank you.
I agree. About
I agree.
He's sick.
Nope. If anyone comes after him, just know it's same opinion. Come after me too, because the same old story gets boring just between that two.
But I would still keep Timmy around.
What, as a robot like Bush?
Yes, exactly.
They can have a robot romance.
So what I want to happen to Timmy, and this is completely a joke thing in my mind, is I want her to finally succumb to her sickness, because we know it's going to happen. We know there's no cure in the game. We know there's no cure she's gonna think of because she's tried, and we know she's on the time clock. She's like, she dies. Bram does his whole thing because God, Bram's gonna go
But
emo
hear me out.
hardcore.
What if she devoted herself to Abaddon? Then she would just be a body, and then she don't have to worry about that, and just don't have to die. See, there's
No.
I can
So
take a minute at a time.
I would have her come back as a type of character like Blish.
Yeah,
But the character
I can see that
would be,
most of all just because they were kind of like doing a little hint about like how he did it, like how Blish became into that body.
yeah, and the way that I would name the character is still Timey, but it'd be T.A.I.M.1. So the Timey artificial intelligence Mark 1 still spells Timey, still there, just
That
now
would
a
be
freaking
pretty
robot.
funny. I also don't know. They could keep her around just because now that her and Gorick have kind of like this love thing going. I don't know. I feel like maybe Gorick might find something in his little insects that he likes to collect, and maybe he finds some kind of.
Well, it could be the jade technology that keeps her alive.
Yeah, it could be that.
Well,
Now that they're.
Well, even she sits there and doesn't she sit there and say when she's running around with June that it's helping, it keeps the pain away, but it's not going to completely heal her.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So it will help prolong her, but there's
do
no
enjoy
be
her
all
character overall. I just think it's at a point where it's like, you can't drag her illness for the rest of the time because then it's just like.
It's either shut up or get off the pot.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's two characters. You got her.
Crutch, I guess.
You have her with her illness that she's supposed to die, still living and living and living, and then you, Zoja, who's in a coma that we don't know what the hell happened to her forever and ever and ever.
Well, and don't forget the Serine leader. What's her name?
The Pale Tree.
Yeah, thank you. Is laying down on the ground, still in her.
Yeah, that's another one.
Not even in a soft, comfy bed. Like, at least put some like flowers or something under her. She's just like stiff as a bone, just like laying on the ground when you go in there.
And that would be an amazing chance for Living World Season 6, Episode 1 and 2, just those 2 episodes. Tie up loose ends. For the love of God, just try and tie up loose ends.
I would just be down for that. Just a season of just tying up everything and then move on to the next stuff.
Yeah, like if you can't get Felicia Day back by the time like Episode 2 comes out, just
get
pull the cord.
Yep.
Zoja's done.
Yep.
Either change her VA or just get rid of Zoja.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what's up with the Pale Tree.
Yeah.
Figure out what's up with Malik and the Dreamless.
Yep.
Probably start talking about what's happening with Kantha, with Suwon being gone. And then slowly start to bring in the other, what the next baddie is going to be, whether it be the Ministry of Purity, whether it be the gods going, hey, they killed Balthazar, let's go take them out now. Or if it's some other continent on Tyria going.
Unless they bring the Luxon and Kurzik back in just for a bit for this like story stuff to kind of like cause some conflict. I mean, but even then it's kind of hard because like it seems like most of the city are like what would it be like like most of the culture and people are past that point now. Unless since we haven't explored those areas, maybe in the back
yeah, there might be some hangouts.
Yeah, exactly. So they might still have some conflicts going on that people haven't moved on. I don't know. I agree though. I'd be down for if she doesn't die. I'd be down for her to transfer her body, or maybe if we did go and mess with the mists or whatever, that maybe we hit up Blish again and he gives us something. She needs something done to get it that little lean that they keep leaning on when she's ill, because it's sad and it is depressing because there's people like that in real life that are battling diseases and things like that, and some live and some don't, and it's sucky. And it's just like, it's kind of like with the Bram thing. For a while it actually made me annoyed that they made Bram seem very depressing and sad, but I was also okay with it because it was like he also hangs out with a bunch of normal people. He doesn't hang out with Norn all the time because they were always getting mad that he wasn't Norn enough and why is he doing this, and it's like, well, one, he's in a different age period of what most Norn are doing back at that time. And two, he's hanging out with a bunch of different, races, humans, Asuras, Savarians, stuff like that. So he's learning from different cultures, different religions, different things. So it's like he had a lot to process. He's also young. I mean, he was his mom lost, so it was like, to me, that was like fine to a point, and I was glad they finally tied that freaking loose end off. It took freaking forever. I don't know if they did it because of the pressure of everyone whining and complaining that he was too whiny, but it's just like, I agree. I would just be down for like an episode or two, or maybe just the whole first season of just like the wedding, and then tie up with the Rox and Bram and all them, and tie up with anyone in the cave, like anyone, just tie up all those so that we can get up to date, and we're like, okay, now what's the next adventure for either all of us or for just us, the commander.
Are you worried they may be too scared to kill off someone? I mean, Irene died for one episode. Yeah, they simply could just be a little too hesitant to kill someone off.
They killed
Well,
off
they have a
freaking. That would be a
They're
stupid
afraid-
excuse.
Well, I think they're afraid
They
of the
killed two
backlash.
people that were really cool, in my opinion. And what makes me more mad is they killed Traherne because they claimed that at the time in the forums, I think they said that the community didn't really think he was like a big deal or was not popular enough or whatever the hell it was. But the thing is like later on, like when people did start playing Heart of Thorn, or more people that joined the game, like people actually liked him. Was it because he died that you liked him now? Like, I don't, like, that's the only issue I have is like, and then same with,
So let me cover a few topics. Back to the Bram thing. I fully understand why he was a whiny little emo child for a little while, and I'm fine with him being a whiny little emo child. Keep in mind, Bram is around 20. I think we mean like 18 to 20. That is still very, very young for Norn. Norn can live to be, I think, about 150 years. Naturally, if they don't get stabbed into a tree. Foreshadowing. And the dude's seen a lot of death and destruction this time. Kragstead got raised by the Flame Legion. His mom died at the start of Hot. All this stuff happened.
That mostly these people who made Norn races and played them, it's like they believe like, okay, this is what your culture is supposed to be, and I totally get that. But Bram wasn't fully invested in that,
Bram is a new type of Norn that was more open-minded to the other races and how they lived.
Yep.
Being able to ask for a hand
just
more
like
openly.
Air was. That's why a lot of people kind of didn't like Air in the Norn community too. If you look around, like there's good people that talk about Air, but there's also people that shit on Air too because they didn't think she was good because she was off with the, Logan Thackeray and Bram, or not Bram, but freaking Ritlock in them. So it's like,
yeah, they see Norn as the stalwart, I'm a single armied man against everything else, when it's like, no, they need to open up, they need to stop being so. They're not cut off from the rest of the world, but I'm going to say it cut off from the rest of the world.
I agree.
Yeah, but like timing, if they killed her off, there would be a massive uproar if there was some way they didn't bring her back.
That's sometimes you have to accept those. Like, if I wanted to go into another game, okay, then I should ask for Honchtrafont to come back from Final Fantasy. He is a big major character for Final Fantasy that a lot of players loved and adored, and people still cry now. But it's like sometimes people have to die. Like if they killed my character off and had to make a new character, like we did that in GuildWars2 technically. We left our characters behind, and it was 100 years later. It's like sometimes things have to go. Like. You can't live forever unless you're, I guess, a robot.
Yeah, and like that's another thing with the whole Traherne thing. I think the reason why people really didn't like Traherne back when GuildWars2 launched is we felt the story was supposed to be about us as our character developing into it, and then we get into where the pact starts getting made, and it starts becoming more about Traherne. But the reason why I think they did that was just in case they wanted to write more books, they would have a central character they could focus on with Traherne. We would know that our character was somewhere around there.
Yeah.
People were getting pissy about that, and they didn't like that at all. And that's why they kind of killed Traherne off, was to just get rid of that, nip it in the bud. Which sucks
because it was in such a yes, it was a nice section, like a beautiful moment because of the connections of the Savarian with that particular dragon, but it's just like it sucked because it was like, what a shitty way to go. Just like Air, it was a shitty way to go to be dealing with freaking,
My God,
like
I still love that cutscene with Air
like
so much.
it made me so upset because it was like, damn, this woman's been through so much, and just to get popped by that creature and basically
Well,
gutted.
I mean, to be fair, like they said, they had been starved for weeks on end, barely given any kind of nutrition to survive. No one's going to be able to sit there and swing a broadsword after that. And
Yeah.
then she got stabbed by Fallon. I mean, I'm so happy Fallon went down screaming like the coward she
I will say
was.
I was happy that we at least got revenge on Fallon because
Yeah.
that would have made
Well,
me very angry.
and then I like when she goes back and we get to smash her head in with our hands. That was very, very cathartic, especially as a Slavari.
Oh, I did too. I did. I cried myself as well. I was very upset
But
with that.
But no, watching Air died like Forgel does in my mind. They died on their feet, and I swear to God, if she had a sword in her hand, she would have thrown it into that freaking Vine Tooth's eye.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like she went down a boss.
It just it to me like just seeing them die like Traherne. I get why he had to quote die, but for her, it's like they can't be scared to kill Timey off if they were to kill her because like you gutted Air for like if people actually liked Air. There was no people. I never seen people complain about Air compared to the others, but it's like so. I don't know. It just felt like they just let's take two people out and make this really scary. And I guess technically three because like we just said, we haven't heard from Zoja in a while. She's off in nowhere land right now.
But yeah, I will agree. Guild Wars 2 does need to not be afraid to kill off major characters because I mean that's honestly that's shock, and that will bring people in to see that kind of thing. Especially like if you were to sit there, go to some random player who liked Timey like 5 years ago, and be like, hey, they just killed Timey. They're gonna be like, wait, what? They're gonna come back and they're gonna go see like what do you mean to kill Timey? And it'll bring more players back in. It's the whole shock thing that they need to do. So killing off major players would be a really good way. And one way I always thought that had been really cool for Timey to die was, like I wanted her to be back to back with Bram facing dragon minions, and just like they're just in a crowd of dragon minions, like they know they're gonna get screwed over, they don't get help, but they're fending off the best they can. And by the time Bram turns around after he hears a crack, Timey is already dead inside of her golem. And it just snaps. Like that is the final straw for him. You like your character runs up and they're like, Bram, Timey, you okay? And he just sits there, sees Bram turn
You
around
know what?
and
If
just
that
start
happens, that
cracking
would
people in the head.
probably make Bram go berserker for sure. Just because, yeah.
But I'd love to see that because it was just have him sit there go just.
Oh, I
It would be
agree.
it'd be one of those moments in the movie where you know stuff's about to just pop off. So like the main character shuts up and then it's just crack, another body, crack, another body, crack,
Especially because
like
we don't
he gets
know he absorbed the power of Primoris.
the spirits of the wild.
Yeah, I had to in the spirits of the wild. So it's like we don't know the full effects still. Like we don't know if it fully left him, if it's still in him, or what. Like we know some, and that's about it. And we know that like he was still resting and recovering. So like yeah, if that were to happen, I think yeah, you would just probably have a scene of just like.
But
Did
you buy the Tyrian tarot cards? Any chance, Kit?
No, I want them so bad.
So the Ten of Swords is War Master Forgel, and he is fighting off a bunch of Risen, but he's got like swords. Obviously it's Ten of Swords, so there's 10 swords in the image, but there's 10 swords just poking out of him because of the Risen stabbing into him, and he's still fighting.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm talking about with the scene
so
from Bram.
badass.
Is he's just sitting there cracking skulls while like, oh, here's another like shot through the arm. Here's another like he'll heal from it, but he's gonna be scarred like no tomorrow.
Right.
And then I want our character to like finally come up, and he's just sitting there, just wailing away on like the final enemies. Like this dude's been dead for 5 minutes. He's still just mace in hand, cracking it until the mace breaks. Your character walks up, puts their hand on Bram's back. Bram just instantly turns, ready to swing with like just the shaft of his mace. Stops for a second, doesn't say a word, turns around, walks away. Then you go over to find Timey dead, and you're like, "That's why." We need to do something because he is not going to go anywhere willingly for like the next 40 days.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that. I could also see even I just
Even if it happened to rocks.
well, I was gonna say Gorick, I could see him even sitting there partying up with Bram and just throwing out bugs that attack, like some plague bug, just to being upset
Oh
by the whole
God.
thing. You know what I mean? Like just plague bugs or something, as well as Bram. Like just, I could see a bunch of people just kind of like going to the bitter end of just destroying everyone that took her out. So
Yeah, no, it would have been if Gork was there as well, he would definitely lose his mind at the same time. Like Bram and Gork are the two that, like, if anything were to happen to Timey, it's just we're seeing red. Don't get next to us because we can't be held accountable for our actions.
and then Dale said, "It's why I love Norn. GuildWars 1, the gathering before the Great Destroyer fight. Everyone brings an army. The Norn brought 7, I think. And when questioned, they said it would have been 6, but
Yep.
someone's daughter wanted to come."
Yeah, and they literally say that in a voice line.
I mean, yeah. And we do also have, now it seems like Jorah's great granddaughter or daughter, like, that's joint, like,
Javi.
yeah, that's kind of like part of us or hanging out with us, or at least we're interacting with. I don't know if we're going to continue any more with that, or if they're just going to kind of like, she's one of those characters that kind of in and out, or what. So
Javi will most likely be in and out. It's going to be Larenthir of the Wild will be the replacement for God, what is her name? Almora.
yeah,
And Javi will be his second in command, or Javi will take it up, and Larenthir will still be second in command.
yeah, because that's true. Because what's her face? Yeah, what you said.
Yeah, Almora got his knife to the back because of a guy I want to sit there and shoot in the head.
Yeah, which that was a whole screwed up scene too. Like that, I will say, if they're scared
Vanguard
of
needs to
killing
be
off
tied up loose
people,
end.
they at least know how to kill off people when they do kill off people. I will say that.
Oh no, GuildWars2 knows how to kill people off. My God, do they?
I will give them credit on there. Like they might be scared, or maybe they're just like waiting to figure the waters out and write the story out and how things need to play out. But like when they kill people off, they really kill people off.
I'm still messed up over Tybalt.
Yeah, like
when they killed Bangar, I literally, and the camera panned up to show Ryland, I literally sat in my thoughts like, you are gonna get the staff down your throat because that was my kill.
Yeah, it was messed up when that happened. I was actually shocked at how they betrayed her and everything and just turned really quickly. I was just like, holy crap. So I will say they are very good on dramatic play.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yep.
Better to have bled you than let you live it. Better to have bled you in the Ferrari than see all this. Oh, to have your mom say that to you?
Well, that's because it took enough too. It built up. She was trying her best to like just forgive and forgive. And, like, he'll change. But once we get him, we'll get. And he was just like, nope. And then she finally had to step up and just put it down because like sometimes you just have to lay the parental hand down.
Oh, Krisha threw mad hands during that scene.
Yeah, I was kind of actually.
Krisha for Connor.
That was a good scene.
Krisha for Connor.
Now, if you think so, you think that now, are you wanting to explore a new continent or what? So the bad guys wise, you got out of the way. Is there anything else like masteries, mounts, things like same thing with you, like what I told Mom?
With that, I would say keep them how they have been lately. Keep them relevant to the story. Like the Jade bots are relevant to the Ender Dragon story, like personal PDA type things. The fishing getting introduced, that's very nice. We finally have fishing, which has been asked for a very long time. The skips are nice. They could be tweaked a little bit here and there to make them a bit more usable. I really do not like the way we have the icon right now for the J-Bot waypoint, the fishing, all that. But so long as they're tied like to the continent, to the culture of the continent, or our quality of life upgrades,
What if they come out with submarine fishing or submarine?
You can't fish in a submarine.
Hey, you never
we got
know.
harpoons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got missiles.
Can you imagine how we can die in our boats with attacking our? That's how we attack them.
God, if they added submarines, I could see so many people getting pissed off because that'd mean like large underwater maps.
Mm-hmm.
And too many people complain about underwater combat is these days. Um, but yeah, as long as it sticks to like the culture of the area, I can completely see it. But if something seems off, I'll kind of be iffy on it. But again, we just have to see what ANET does. I'm not a game developer. I don't know what they're planning to do or what they'd be willing to bring in. I could not think of anything else to bring in. Submarines of World versus World becomes a big game of Battleship A3 hit.
Oh, that'd be fun there. That would be some fun right
I
there.
would be down for them to bring like a couple more activities or something that was deal with like either the boat or other stuff. Like they already have like these little fishing tourney things here, but like I don't know, maybe some other areas or you know how like that crab toss or what like those little other daily keg toss
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like maybe bring something like that in the daily rotation instead of just that. But I get they have to also make it easy access for people who maybe just only have the core game, but. I don't know.
So one thing I would love, and even if it is just one map, is unfortunately a water-based map. Give us a big area where the skiff shines. Like right now, they're doing pretty good, but like
Which
an
I thought
area
they
where the
kind of were
skiff
going to
really
do with
shines.
EOD, to be honest. I thought it was going to be more water stuff than green stuff. The way things
Yeah,
were going with how we had to, like, the skimmers now can go underwater, and our water combat actually got upgraded and balanced out right before EOD and stuff like that. So it was just like, I was thinking we were going to do more water stuff, but it feels like we
like
literally got minimum of, like, the big fish guy, I guess. That's it.
yeah, like drown. Like if we went up to Drown Kyneg, that could really let the skiff shine. But like what I would want it to be is I would want it to be like look at New Kyneg and how big that map is. Take that and double it. Drown Kyneg, perfect. You got a bunch of water areas to move your boat around in. You
Yeah.
got the canals of the drowned city to run around in. Um, it would be a gigantic map. That'd probably be my only problem. You'd have to throw in a few more waypoints than what we get nowadays. But it'd be a big water map to help let the skiffs really like stretch their wings out. And then it'd be just a massive throwback to Guild Wars 1 players with being able to see like the Drowned Risu Palace, the old port city and everything like that. And then we find a lot of Unchained, which are Zaitan's minions still that don't have their master anymore to listen to. Um but I see you're looking at Kieran Peak, so let's go over that. Let's go there for just a quick second. Do I think a Raid Wing 8 is going to come out? Yes, again, inevitable. Kieran Peak definitely does seem like it would be the place to go to. What the lore behind it could be, I have no idea, but I can see it.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm just curious on what the big old like the Jade Sea section is gonna be like in Great Turtle Highlands. And that's where I'm kind of just thinking like we might touch base with maybe the Luxon and Kurzik stuff again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very interesting. And then like, is this just gonna be a blank spot? I guess is left be because there wouldn't be no reason to have this. And that's like all weird. I give props to whoever the map person is. Like, your job is to like cover the map, and then your job is to uncover. Like, must be fun and not fun to draw the small details of the map for people.
Yeah, one thing I really like is on my side, I run a post processing thing called Reshade. And I found a shader that turns the screen into like an oil painting.
Uh-huh.
So I essentially turn my game to look like the like undiscovered points of the map when you're zoomed out.
Oh yeah. I think
It
you were
looks
showing it on your stream that one night, but not the. I didn't see it on the map. I think I saw it just on your normal play.
yeah,
Thing,
it looks really nice. There's some spots I go to and just like this is screenshot worthy. I love it.
Well, I guess my question to people who are watching or if not listening later is what do you think might be coming to Guild Wars 2 in 2023? Who do you think might also be the next baddie that's coming after us? Or maybe after Tyria? Or maybe after Serine? Who overall is going to be the next character that might die.
Where we're gonna go.
Yeah. Because I'll
Full
tell you
genocide
right
run.
now,
Let's go.
To hell. We're going to hell.
I think for me wise,
Already been there.
I'm on I'm on the same topic of where like these little mini things like the cultists and all that stuff. Maybe we'll visit them and then like the Lux and Kurzik, whatever, because we still have all of Kynie to still probably do. But I would overall like to see a new continent outside of what we have now. Like even from Guild Wars, like something new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Totally new.
Like new side of the world or something. If not, go send us off into space. I don't care. Something new. Like, I knew that they would obviously bring Cantha back because it's something beloved by a lot of players. But at the same time, I just kind of like, And maybe it's because I already played Guild Wars 1, so I'm like, I had my moment in time. So as a new player who's just gone to Guild Wars 2 and never touched Guild Wars 1, it might be a different point of view for you on that, and that's totally fine. But I would like to see a whole different world. Like, I don't know, like something, like what, African theme? Like something, something different. I don't know. Like, or Australian, something in a different world. Because POF, like, it's kind of, deserty, but something else, you know what I mean?
It's like a Guild Wars. It's like a Guild Wars Utopia, the original idea for Guild Wars 2. Going into the Missing Aztec. If I may jump in here really quick. So I asked my Discord when I found out what the question was, what they wanted to see in the future Guild Wars 2. I got 2 responses.
Okay.
One was new raid wings in all caps and like 17 exclamation points. The other one is more fractal maps, new dungeons, delete char, new ways to get legendary armor, new stuff from AP chests and stuff like that, new universal currencies for like doing dailies, monthlies, and yearlies, and delete char.
Well, before we get the new dungeons, they need to revamp.
Well, I mean, I'm down for new dungeons. I would like new dungeons as well. I don't think they're gonna ever do. I think they're locked down on fractals because it's easier to stuff it in one probably like thing and send people there. I would be down for them just to add more paths to the ones that they have like about. So
I'd be down for new dungeons.
Yeah, I would be down for that. Raid, of course, I'm always down for you guys to get more raid because even if I don't like do that myself all the time, it's enjoyable to watch, but also just it's something a different challenge for different players because there's different game modes in general for this game for everyone, just like in every MMO. Like there's some people that have PvP and some people that have PvE and some people do. So yeah. How goes the fishing? It goes pretty well. We're not fishing. We're just literally swimming around on a boat for
we're
like
just
2 hours.
No one's told me to stop yet. I'm sorry.
I'm
okay.
I'm waving to keep myself from being DC'd.
I'm sorry.
We might need to change map here soon because we've been sitting on switch map here while we get kicked off.
They'll kick us off this map here in a minute.
Well, hang on.
Should we hit it or should we just go ahead and switch, or is it going to switch us again?
Oh, there goes Kit, so we'll just switch it.
Okay.
I'll get the bow back up.
She don't wait for nobody else. Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
It's like, bye, see you.
There we go.
It's like that GIF, just the dude who does the piece and he just disappears.
Yep.
Well, if I don't, I'm on the blue circle desk.
That's fine. Just give it a second.
If I can get into, so as soon as my buddy sat there and said it, delete char, my whole thing is delete Quaggan. But if I get to keep on killing Quaggan, I'm happy.
No, you're not allowed to delete those fat blubbery fucking things. They're so cute.
I will. Then allow me to kill them, please.
You could go ahead and do that, but just like you do with Choya. But I'm gonna put a fine line that you're not allowed to delete them.
Okay. So long as I can kick them, then I'm happy.
You can kick Poopadoodle or some shit or whatever the hell may be, but you're not gonna kick anyone else.
I've had to explain Quaggan lore to someone. They messaged me. It's like, what is Milogin? And it's like, the Quaggan are idiots. They found a freaking statue of the human god Melandru and they can't read. That is Milogin. Oh.
Now,
I
before
have
while
an,
they're getting your answers or questions, my thing is, I'm really on the God ideal. Listen. Abaddon, I think he'll come back around too. The reason
do
why
you
I say
want
that
to?
is, what if he was pretending to be Alyssa, okay, and he tricked Balthazar, and then we got Balthazar. Like, it's a chain reaction, right? Just to hopefully at the end to get him set free. That's where I'm getting at. I think he's still around.
If Abaddon was to come back, we would have a.
Good
It would
guy.
be
Yeah,
a.
sorry. Good guy Abaddon. Sorry. He's not
If
bad.
Abaddon came back,
Here I
it
am
would
talking on mute. I said, here, put your tinfoil hats on.
Oh.
crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Um, if Abaddon wants to come back, the only way that I can see him coming back is a corruption of Cormyr. Because at the end of Guild Wars 1 Nightfall, we've seen Cormyr essentially absorb all of his power. We know gods can die. We know of 2 in lore that have died. We have Balthazar, who we kill ourselves and is absorbed by Kalkatork and Aurene. And then we have Balthazar's father when they first came to Or. The first god that set through the portal was Balthazar, carrying the head of his father. So we know he killed his father and usurped his role as a human god.
Before we continue here, Abaddon was originally a god in Guild Wars 1. He's sort of talked about all through Guild Wars 2 on things, different parts or whatever. But our old selves, I don't know what you want to call ourselves, our ascended, our family, I don't know what the fuck we would be tied to.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I need to get soap? Watch the mouth.
Oh, okay. So Abaddon used to be the god of knowledge. But after a while, he fell from grace. And when he fell from grace, it was during the exodus of the gods back in 0. So the Tyrian calendar is based. So like we have Anno Domini and before Domini, so AD and BC or whatever. We have before Exodus and after Exodus. We are currently in the after Exodus timeline. The Exodus of the gods is when the gods left and they chained Abaddon into the domain of anguish because of what he did. He gave magic to the humans. The gods tried to remove magic. Abaddon kind of got pissed off, kind of rebelled. They chained him up and locked him up.
Before Christ.
Yeah, before Christ and Anno Domini. Or if you want to do the other way, before Common Era and Common Era, if you want to do BC and
You know what?
C,
I agree. Before Christ was born.
Wait, Christ is not in Guild Wars.
You don't know. You don't know.
But even while Abaddon was chained up inside the realm of torment, he still had ways he can kind of like seep out into the world. One of the ways he seeped out into the world is he made himself into a fortune teller in Cantha that tricked Shiro Tagashi into killing the emperor at the time. And when Saint Victor and Akamoris killed Shiro Tagashi, he cast a jade wind that turned the Ichabod Forest into stone, and the jade sea into literal jade. You had Osa. What the heck was her name?
That's why the ocean's green over here.
Mm-hmm. Because why is it ugly green? There's a reason. See, it got turned to jade.
Continue.
So Varish Osa, after a while, figured out a way to try and bring Abaddon back to full power. No, Tsurai Osa killed Joko the first time. I was thinking of Varish Osa. Yeah. Varish found a way to try and free Abaddon from his imprisonment, turn her into a Morganite. Then we went into the realm of torment, got a blessing from the gods, and we went, hey, we're gonna go on deicide, let's go. And eventually we kill Abaddon, and Cormyr sacrificed her human self to absorb all the magic power and become the new god of knowledge from then on. There's Abaddon in 30 seconds.
There you go. Now continue on what you were going to say about your thing, if you could remember, about Abaddon. I thought you were talking poorly about him. I don't think you were giving him much credit of how much of an awesome person he is.
Yes, I know some Fox. But no, if Abaddon was to come back, it would be through through the corruption of Cormyr, kind of like with the Dragonvoid and Suwon. That's how I could see him coming back. That's the only way I could see him coming back.
You would like to see more
More
of.
of Grant would be
Yeah,
nice.
Grinth would be. But didn't he disappear too?
As far as the only gods that we know who didn't disappear was Balthazar because he had a vendetta against the dragons, and
Yeah.
we've seen how that end. Doom down in the underworld, but that's only because he's kind of locked there and he was still regaining his power. And then Hall of Change shows that he's never going to be getting out of there because of what Desmina did.
Thank you. Fox, I agree. I agree. That's why I think Abaddon is like in the background right now and doing what he needs to do so that he can come back and give us, the people who deserved it first and worked for it, those awesome powers. And then, you know what? She'll just go off and retire and die or whatever the hell it is after, she loses those powers. Because it should have been us.
But then we see Cormyr, who's just sitting there. It's like, no, we've seen what we did to this place. We're out. Peace. Have fun fixing it. Yeah, no, Cormyr's a dick. Everybody hates Cormyr.
Well, not everyone, because remember, Casimir looked up to her and was so upset that she was about to disappear on us.
Well, I don't think she looks up to her now, though, because she left high and dry.
That's because it shows you that you shouldn't always, look up to people like that, because they ain't always going to save you.
I will start playing a Tool song here in 5 minutes if I have to. No, Perfect Circle song. Will the Celestials return? The Celestials?
For like in Cantha area, like the celestial like.
You mean
thing?
like
the critters or
like
whatever?
Kudavang and stuff like that?
Yeah. Sorry. Also, for the people who are joining us, we are just right now at the tail end of the stream, and we are just kind of tinfoiling what we think will happen in 2023 for Guild Wars 2 and like what bad guy or people or things, map and mastery, stuff like that. So if you have any thoughts that what might come or might happen, you're more than welcome to put in the chat. But if not, no worries.
Oh, okay. I think
the envoys.
The envoys, yeah.
Oh god, what were I know. Okay, now you're talking about the envoys. Envoys are shepherds of souls for the dead. When the mortal dies, an envoy will appear before them in the newly released soul and guide them to the mist. So, if we do ever see the envoys, it'll be probably in tandem with Grenth, because they're essentially shepherds to the afterlife.
That would be cool. Be one way to interact with Gwent then. Or Grint. Sorry, I don't know why I said Gwent.
Yeah, it would purely be we're introducing Grenth into the story now. Here's some envoys. Have fun. As for Celestials, let me look that up real quick, see if I can find something.
I think it's like the
looking up. Well, just looking up Celestial in the Guild Wars wiki, it goes to the Celestial minis.
Celestial like creatures or what? Because I know we had to fight like celestial like looking animal things when we were.
Yeah, then there's a celestial. There's like a celestial guild. No, Canthus reveal the Great Celestials. Canthus reveal the Great Celestials. Source from the 4 cardinal Celestials reveal that they appeared to have once been human, but later became the embodiment of the stars. According to according to Canton folktales, at least the celestial pig had once been human as well before the 6 human gods elevated him to become a celestial. Other than the 4 celestials of the Way No Su trials is all of the zodiac animals.
Yeah, because he's saying, Cantha, the guys that sent you us to kill Shiro.
Yeah, I think it was the envoys after Shiro killed us in factions. Like I went, yeah, we need to get rid of this guy, so we're gonna give you guys your lives back.
The ministry, like the little piggies and things. I think
the Ministry of Purity, I can see us taking them out, and I'll be happy to go full blown anarchist against the Canthan government. Like, I think I literally said that in a
Yeah.
tweet, talking about the show is like full blown anarchy. Let's go. I will totally play some Dead Kennedys while going after the Ministry of Purity.
She's looking.
About
New gens of what there? Chewy gummies?
Sorry, I almost coughing my throat up.
Are you talking about new generation legendaries?
Okay, so I wouldn't say they would have to bring them back for the little pig, like the ministry. Yeah, I think for now I would like to see the wedding. I would like a peaceful one, but the chaotic side of me would love to have like some dramatic issues and make it a pain in the ass to even have a wedding. And maybe it's not like anything crazy. Maybe it's like
No, it's got to be
Marjorie
all out
doesn't
crazy.
want to have to like, I don't know, do something that Marjorie doesn't want to do. I don't know, something simple. It could be something little.
If you want to introduce the next big baddies while still doing the wedding, do it like with Krakator's attack on Amnoon. Like everything's still good, but like as soon as it finishes up, like right the second it finishes up, then it goes straight to that thing.
So then no honeymoon. You're just going on to the next phase.
Well, like they kiss, they say their vows, everything's square. They're about to walk down the aisle to go to whatever they need to do to go to their honeymoon. They look over it. Everyone looks over in the background, and everyone just collectively goes, "Oh, son of a gun! All right, grab your weapons. They're over at the checkout counter."
What do we think about like? It seems like they're slowly revealing is what the word would be, more about Queen Jenna and Countess Anise. Like it just seems like I feel like Countess Anise is weirdly got more knowledge than what she puts out, and like I'm just curious if she's like a pocket card for them or something.
I mean, Anise technically is the head of a spy organization for the humans. It's not uncommon for her to know crap.
Well, just the fact that she hid Livia from us for so long too, like
it may have been something Livia was actually requesting.
True. I just think it's a little scary to have her a bit around, and then Queen Jenna's like powers are kind of more and more like it's a lot like wow, you're a mesmer, but you're like a really fucking powerful mesmer. Like she like put a big ass
can't do the stuff you do.
So
I still sit there and say that Queen Jenna is truly a dragon champion to Krakatork.
Yeah.
You will never get me off that boat.
I'll just say it's Abaddon in her body. There you
go. Yeah.
They get married, and all of a sudden, Irene shows up and says, "It's your kids. Something needs to be done about your kids in the future." Oh no!
Take a look at your kids.
To go with chat. Azrael, I'm kind of against that one. The whole damsel in distress trope just needs to die.
Yeah, I would hope. I don't want that one. I don't mind
that's lazy
writing, but yeah, I feel like that would just be. I don't know, too obvious.
It's still a decent idea, but yeah, it's too obvious. It's damsel in distress trope.
I think like the other thing is like Logan Thackeray. Like even though he's chilling out and he's kind of like retiring a little bit, and
I want to see his beach house.
I want to see his relationship.
I would like to know if because it's like it's kind of hard because they make it seem like Queen Jenna and him have a thing, and then they don't, and then they do, and then they don't, and then they do, and it's like I get it. She's a leadership, and maybe they don't want to put that in the thing, but it's like I don't know. To me, it's like
I think it's more they're trying to keep their respective roles in the monarchy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's kind of lame. It's like.
I would like to. They need to do a payoff with.
I just want to see a big kiss moment with them. I don't fucking know.
He could be the new prince consort, whatever.
And maybe if not, just maybe a
back consort.
Maybe they do a kiss at the wedding, like in the background. You just catch them or something, like a little pep.
Yeah.
That's it.
So yeah, Anissa's background would be another good one to see at some point.
Yeah, I would like to.
And I also would like to see more stuff on other. We've been doing a lot of stuff on human lore, history, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but we
What
look.
about
I'm not
Char? What
to
about,
dog them or
you know?
anything. Well, that's what Ice Brew Saga was supposed to be about. The Norn and Char, and that uh, it was all right, but it was it. I will I will give them that. Like I liked it because at least Jormag and Primarch, like overall the whole spooky dragon whispering me the whole time, totally down. I felt the vibes. I was scared. Wasn't okay with what she was doing, but at the same time, it was like a slack because it just went from Norn to all of a sudden just char, and then towards Norn again when Bran had to go get the spirits and all that stuff or whatever. So it's like, if they did, I don't know. They would have to do it better.
Okay.
So, yeah, the
No,
Norn
no,
and
no.
Elder Dragon story revolved around mostly Char, and that was sad. Exactly. That's all I was saying. Like, And then Kitty said it would only make sense that they would bring back Celestials back, or sense that they would bring back Celestials back, so that the Celestials ministries were the ones who sent us after Shiro. Later on, we fight Celestial animals and people towards the end to get them utility skills. Gotcha. What was you gonna say?
Yeah, that's when you do the Way No Sue mission. Because Way No Sue's Be Close to the Scars is the equivalent to Canton Ascension. One achieves this by fulfilling the trials of the Celestials and the Oracle of the Mists, who is currently soon.
Yeah.
Not at that point, they probably would have had to dip more into the lore behind those guys back in GuildWars 1.
Well, and like
If
that's
they
what we're
did,
talking about, Kitty, too. Is like a lot of this area that's unexplored yet and unopened for us yet. We're just kind of like thinking like, could it be like they're gonna bring the Lux and Kurzik back up around a little bit? Because right now, currently, all these areas, they know of Lux and Kurzik, but they're kind of like current, like they're. It's like modern times. They're just like they're over it, so they're not really about it. Like they're not about the gangs, the cultists, and all that stuff. So that's what we were talking about. That we were talking about maybe they might bring some of that back up just a little bit, just to kind of touch base with the old fans, but maybe like get new fans into the stuff. And then we were just brainstorming like outside of this map, like kind of like what Final Fantasy did, where they brought Razahan in, like a whole different continent in. We were thinking like outside of Cantha, outside of Nightfall, Path of Fire, whatever, all that stuff, and Heart of Thorns, like what other content? So yeah.
if I may interlude, Kitty, to go on with you. So looking at the Celestials, one of the Celestials you have to fight when you do the Way No Soon fight is a essence of a Kirin. What if we tie that into Raid Wing 8 at Kirin Peak is your raid instance of taking down some of the corrupted essences for the Celestials?
Cool. I think that would be something like how they did with the what's his guy, that one guy from the first raid instance. Not first raid, but like the second tier, third tier with the redstone and all that stuff with the Eye of Janter.
Oh, you're thinking of
I can't think.
What's it called?
Yeah, my brain is like fried now. I'm trying to. You know who I'm talking about, right? With the Eye of Janter.
Bastion of the Penitent.
Yeah.
Bastion of the Penitent with God, the creator of the White Mantle, Sal D'Alessio.
Yeah. They could do what what Kitty is trying to say, and do that, and then like you said, like mix it and do like something like that. I could see that working out. So then,
yeah, and Kitty, the one thing I said what I want from the future of the game is I want to go somewhere new. I don't want to go somewhere that's GuildWars 1 related. I want to go somewhere.
We're all kind of just because it's like we just want something new. If not like something bad, like not something repeatable over and over. That's what we were saying like earlier. We're down to like if Aurene died, we were okay with it. If or not Aurene, Timing. Sorry, my brain's starting to fizzle with all the names that we said. Now I just added that out there. I don't want Aurene dying. Okay, so don't come for me. I did not say that. I take that back. Yeah.
I'm okay with Aurene dying.
Yeah, basically to the map. We have the Jade Sea that we still have to explore. We have the Great Turtle Highlands, Drowning
I'm back.
Kynene. Welcome back. On Clay Forest, Kieran Peaks. So,
Well,
Okay.
oh yeah, it is the
Kitty,
JC. It's just kind of hard to see, probably. Sorry, let me zoom.
so
Yeah.
Kitty Beard, looking at the massive green section of the JC, we didn't even explore most of that in Guild Wars 1. Keep in mind where we fight Suwon is Tanaki Temple. So we probably explored maybe take half of Dragon's End and
This
put
is
it
where we
onto the
fought
right side of it.
Suwon.
Yeah,
Right here.
that's about as far out as into the JC as we've gone.
Like, that's where we stop exploring,
There's-
basically.
Yep.
For people
There's
that
the-
aren't watching, we're just showing the map. Yeah. And then we have
So we wouldn't go
Kieran
too far into the
Peaks.
JC, but I mean it's a massive expanse of featureless green jade with probably water underneath it. Now that the jade wind from Shiratsugachi is finally fading.
Yeah.
Which, holy crap, that took a long time.
Shaman had a Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 map overlay. Yeah. I think you did. I remember seeing it on this thing. But yeah, we still got quite a bit to explore. I guess our overall thoughts of just like, we just want to kind of tie up ends from past, like from basically since Heart of Thorns, with Zoja, with the Peltry, just like all sorts of stuff. Sorry for coughing. To get people, caught up, because at this point they kind of left like all these little strands, and so constantly players, at least the veterans, are going to keep asking like, well, where are they, what's going on, so it's like, just make a whole like episode or season of just like, I don't know, running around and just catching up with people. It might be boring to someone else, but like for your war like addict people, it would help cut off those ties. And I know they leave some things open for the player perspective to take.
You're right, Kitty.
And accept it or whatever, but yeah. So
Kitty says, but it would make sense to open it up more. I'm sure people are ready to move on outside of Guild Wars 1. But the thing is, you have to touch on all these little things to complete it before moving on to something. If it was a short story, I mean, Guild Wars 2 is full of short stories.
yeah, and this is my only issue when it comes to them. Like at the beginning, when they stated when they made Guild Wars 2 that they weren't really gonna kind of touch old Guild Wars 1 stuff, and then like it seemed like they had a change of heart and like started adding like things that they were gonna do. So it's like, it's kind of sucky, because like now it's at a point where like I want to move on from it and just see new stuff, new continents, new people, new race, whatever. Like,
Yeah, it's even if people were complaining that Guild Wars, like core Guild Wars 2 didn't feel like Guild Wars 1, I do feel it is time to let Guild Wars 2 kind of step into its own shoes and really start doing its own thing. Because up until now, we have technically been still in the shadow of Guild Wars 1 to an extent. So going back and touching on Celestials and stuff like that would be nice for like the old hands who put the hours into Guild Wars 1. But at this point, we have to realize Guild Wars 1 is at least well over like 15 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, Guild Wars 2 needs to like step away from Guild Wars 1 and now
I
start
think
moving
it's also
into
the
Guild Wars.
way they tell their story. It's a little wompy from most MMOs to me, where like how they
skip.
Like, the
skip
way
around.
the story, yeah, it's like this, like, well, because Final Fantasy does that too. It bounces you around, but they at least always turn you back around, and like you catch up. Same with ESO. Same with like WoW. Like all the only issue I've ever had with Guild Wars 2 was the way the story pacing is sometimes. It just feels like we're here, then we're not, then we're missing a gap, and then we're on to the next. it's a little, and I don't blame them because it's the way, I think the way the situation of how they set, like, you know, how they have a couple of writers for one part and then the next section they do, because they've said that multiple times on their like guild, like their little live thing that, you know, each team works on a section and then they switch over after a couple months to another team and switch over to, and like, yeah, it's kind of like the telephone game. I'm sure you can be like, here's all the notes and here's everything. This is how, you know, so far. But it's like, sometimes it feels like people are missing the spots when it comes to things. And I can't blame that because it's like you have several different people trying different things. And it helps teams not get bored, too, of their job, I guess, if they're doing that. But it'd just be nice to have like a concise of like what's happening. Just a little bit, not a lot. I don't need fucking to a T because that's boring and that would just be too obvious. But I would love to know what's going on with some of the older characters or characters that we have left behind, kind of in the dust. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just like they kind of pick and choose who they think is kind of important by supposedly fan responses, but it's like some of that doesn't make any sense because that's why would more fans be complaining about the same thing we are? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Kitty's saying again, GuildWars2 was supposed to be all brand new stuff, but Gwen came out GW2 and they expanded and was supposed to move, but instead they've gone backwards by involving lions touching on Jade's.
I think at this point, it's one of those things we just have to wait and see. I know they are supposedly working on Living Story, and then we also have supposedly another expansion, and that's where I'm just like,
Yeah,
guess
who's working on one? How many on it?
yeah,
You know what I
like,
mean?
and
That's
is
like
it
because
just
they're
a
looking. They
start,
got
a story?
they're hiring new people for things, and it's just like I'm wondering if are we not going to do a Living Story 6? Maybe they're going to go straight into an expansion. Because you know they probably got the expansion all based out right now. It's probably been based out before EOD came out. They just got to
Yeah,
put the finished touches on it and stuff.
yeah.
Just like they had Guild Wars 2 and almost done during Guild Wars 1.
Right. Well, we are at 2:30 mark, and I don't want to make it any further
Yep.
because I don't want to drag anyone's time. I'm sorry. I knew this was going to take longer if we talk about like what's to come or what we think is going to come. I agree with you.
Honestly,
It should be something new, but like they are moving backwards, showing portions of the Guild Wars 1, maybe tie-ups the stories to move on to actually something new.
oh, that's exactly what we're saying, Kitty.
Yeah, that's what we're. Yeah.
Is with the World Season 6, tie up loose ends, then with the next expansion, that's your jump off point for all the new stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Is there anything else you guys want to say before I close this off?
So I will say this format with the stream has been pretty good. I do like the idea of just like the last half hour or so, just interaction with chat. That's really good in my mind.
Nice.
One thing I'd probably suggest is probably getting a little bit of a chat box up on the screen. So if people watch on YouTube later with a VOD, they can see the questions being asked.
I actually was thinking about that earlier, and I just was like, okay, I need to add that next time.
Yeah. That's my 2 cents right there.
Thank you. I will appreciate that, and I will try to remember next time to add that into the thing because I actually want that too, so that people aren't confused. And I don't have to keep being like, sorry, you know, this is what's
and
happening.
see that we actually interact with the people
Yeah.
chatting with us too. So
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best.
we're learning. We're getting there.
Well,
I would like it to point out one more thing. We were not liars. We did fish at least once this stream. We just did it.
Yep.
oh, I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't
You were on that.
I was on the bat.
Sib and I had our
Lies. This is all
green,
lies. I
green
didn't see it. I didn't see it.
fishing lines in the whole. Just they're going ding ding.
Yep. Nope. It was not me. Sorry. Okay. So, where can they find you, Silvus? And make sure you obviously say your new Twitter and all that good stuff. And I will make sure to add it on my YouTube in description if you need his links.
All right, so to end this out for the night, my name is Syllabus. We are part of the organization, I guess that's called the Tyrian Help Desk. We do have a guild inside of GuildWars2. We have a website, TyrianHelpDesk.com, all one word. We do have a Twitter at Tyrian Help Desk, spelled exactly the way it is in game. We also have a Twitch channel, Tyrian Help Desk. If you guys want to come watch that, we stream usually Saturday through Monday, or Saturday through Tuesday. Saturday is a long stream with a lot of giveaways and small giveaways throughout the week with specific things on those days. Saturdays we do raids, Mondays we do dungeons, Tuesdays we do fractals.
Okay.
We'll work on it. I like quags too. So
I will genocide them all.
I'll make sure to remind him every once in a while with a cute quaggin photo saying, "Love me."
we should give him the quaggin shield. Get him the legendary.
Oh no, Kitty's on his side. Get out of here, Kitty.
I am down with making Shusha give me a meat shield. I'll use it.
And then obviously, Serene, do your thing.
I'm Serene Tempest or Lady Tempest. Hold on, I got a thing here. I can find me if you want to message me in game. I'm Serene Tempest, and it's all one word: SERINETMPST.9027. In game, want to hang out, go do something, just let me know. And on here, I think I'm here, Serene Tempest 1 in Twitch.
Let me jump in, seeing as Serene did it. If you guys ever need to hit me up in game, it is SILABUS.4273.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say next for you next time was to do that, but you caught yourself because last time you were on here you didn't do that, and so
I'm sorry, I'm not. You were my first podcast. I'm trying to know how etiquette works.
Well,
we're learning.
Children.
And then
boy, this reminds me of the old time.
You can find me on. Oh, there's a big fish right there. You can find me on.
Yeah, I'll stay away from the Leviathan.
Kit the Traveler or Kit the Traveler on YouTube. Twitter, I think it's still Angelica Star. No, it's Kit the Traveler. I changed that too. I'm not gonna look. I was gonna ride with Angelica Star, but at this point, between all my content friends and other friends, I'm sick of arguing which one or what name, and then plus if I get emails for things to do, so you can call me Angelica because that's actually my name. I don't give a crap if you know my name, or you can call me Kit. I don't care.
Right,
but you can find me at Kit the Traveler and kitthetraveler.com. or Kit the Traveler on Twitter, or Kit the Traveler. And then the only thing is on game for GuildWars2, it's PIXIE Pixie.5940. At some point,
you should put those in the,
I might
in
change
the
it later.
video too.
But yes, I will add all this stuff into the video later. I just wanted to say, if you're wondering what's the name change for or whatever, big mystery solved. It was nothing. Just I'm sick of debating with people.
You know what we could do too?
On me.
What we could do too, Angel, is maybe put like, you know how you got our pictures with, and it's got Kit the Traveler, Serene can like put our in-game name.
I'll probably just do it in a different way, but yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Silvus?
No.
I'm part of the reason why you're sitting there and having this whole debate over the hell Kit the Traveler and Angelica Star thing, because I'm stupid.
It's not you. Malteus from Talking Skirt / Mad Realms does it a lot. Freaking a few other people. Luckily, M from Project Dyad was kind enough to call me still Angel after I showed up in their thing. But I just, I don't hate you guys. I don't dislike you. Know what? If that's what you guys are comfortable calling me, I'll just stick with that. I like both names. I was just trying to make it where I wasn't stuck to one name. So, never mind.
All because she's not going to let me back on the stream, guys. Bye.
It was nice knowing you. Ta-ta.
Next month will be the next podcast. Sometime in the next week or so I'll be streaming. But until then, talk to you guys later. Thank you guys all for chatting with us.
Love you all. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, hopefully next time I'll have the chat up. And yeah, hopefully we'll see some news in February of what's to come for Guild Wars 2. I hope you all are excited. And this will be on YouTube for the YouTubers. Bye!
It's a pleasure.
Bye.
Take care.